Okay, it's finally working. Welcome to the first episode of Two White Dudes and a Black Dude. Reverse Oreo. We're not actually sure what we're going to call it. But anyway, it's a day in the life of with me, Jeff Bosley. And it's called Day in the Life of because I don't want to commit to any sort of theme. With me for the first time after a year of making this show is Mike Foster and Sean Hampton.
Great to be here tonight, Jeff. Thanks for having us, man.
This is so ridiculous. So first off, since everybody's already, this is my podcast, I won't beat to death who I am or what I do, just living the actor life. We'll go down the line and let everybody introduce themselves. So first we have Mike. Oh, is it who goes first?
He's in the middle.
Are we doing this reverse Oreo style, or is it just...
It sounds like a sex move. So first she asked me to do the reverse Oreo.
Well, I am Mike Foster. On IMDb, you can find me as Michael Wayne Foster. And I am a former high school English teacher of 9 years in the great state of Michigan, the Mitten. And now I have come out to California to be an actor and an entrepreneur. And that's what's going on here.
Okay. That was very...
To the point.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Was it true?
No, it's very true.
They'll hear me babble later.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean Hampton, and I started out as an actor here in Los Angeles in 2005, and after a little while I decided that I wanted to branch out into a few different areas of production, so I actually started producing and directing. So I spent the last couple of years building up my resume as that. You've probably seen me on a few shows like Young and the Restless, General Hospital, 90210, CSI. And then I've directed a few short films, one of them being Race War, that is now available on Amazon Prime. If you have that, or if you don't have Amazon Prime, you can rent it on Amazon or buy it. Please buy it. You gotta ask, and you gotta ask for the sale.
Much better profit margin. All right, there, sorry. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell, and the show continues on. It's, I guess you could call it like our post-Thanksgiving special, I guess would be the best way to do it.
Extravaganza.
That puts a lot of weight on it. So basically, what we're going to start doing is a loose template. We're talking about our lives, whether it be the Hollywood shenanigans, the shenanigans of... Can I reveal, like, your relationship status, whether we have kids, don't have kids?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
We have no show without it.
Our lives are open books for you,
Okay.
Jeff.
And all y'all. So basically, I mean, anything from Hollywood shenanigans to maybe, God only knows, maybe whoever asks us for relationship advice, you're in a bad place already if you're coming to us. But, we got to
But we'll speak the truth about it.
Yeah, we'll definitely tell you what we think.
Uh-huh.
We have, married, engaged, whatever I am, single. We have some people with kids, some people without kids. So Hollywood shenanigans, relationship life, whatever comes to mind. Fitness for sure will be one.
Dogs.
We
have those.
Dogs. Cooking. Mr. Foster here is quite the culinary expert. Sean, I see tagging along with him every once in a while. We might talk sports, anything and everything, but we're going to try to keep it somewhat loose, or not loose, but because of Facebook, you guys can be logged on live, whether it's facebook.com, welcome to Boz, Iron Mike Foster, and
Sean Hampton Forever.
Your pro page is that?
Yes.
Okay, so Sean Hampton Forever, Iron Mike Foster, or Welcome to Boz. That's our pro page. You could be watching this live recording online and give us feedback and ideas. So that's that in a nutshell. So moving on to Thanksgiving. We made a point, like every time, Sean and I were sitting here for about an hour and a half with the internet or the computer failing us, and I just didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to hear any of his stories or any of his life or how everything was because I wanted to wait till this moment so we could actually have something to talk about. So Thanksgiving, how was it?
Go ahead.
You bet lead off, because last time I was like short to the point, and you put the whole resume out there. So
we're too polite. That's our problem. Well, for me, Thanksgiving was great. As Boz mentioned about relationship status, so I am married, and we have a almost 2-year-old daughter. And we went up to see my brother-in-law, who's in the Air Force. He's stationed at a base up north. So we were able to see him and spend time with him and his family, which is uncommon for us because we have always lived so far away from all family. As I said, he's in the Air Force, so he's been stationed around the world. And the rest of our family lives in Florida, North Carolina, Alabama, Louisiana, so they're all spread out amongst the South, and we're out here in Los Angeles. So we had a nice time, little reunion.
And did you have to drink with all the amount of family there? Or is that
You know,
is that like, I plead the fifth.
I was going to say I plead the Walker on that one.
Me and Johnny hang out a lot during this holiday. Well, yeah, Sean and I were talking before you got here that it was definitely Jeff doesn't drink much, but social anxiety Jeff occasionally he's like, how's it going, Phil?
It's so good when it hits your lips.
You know, and that's a funny thing, not to get away from Thanksgiving, but it is funny how being in entertainment and that our jobs involve talking to large groups of people at one time. You put us in small rooms with a limited number of people, and we're kind of like, all right.
Yeah, I was talking to some guests over the holiday about that very same thing. Is I don't know who I am. Like if I could have a screenwriter walk around with me and tell me what to do, great. But as a person, whether it was the military, the longer I was alone and just in my house with me and my dog, or whatever it is, the worse it gets. Right. So the more the social ineptitude grows, like it's just like it's tenfold every day that goes by. I was like, I don't even know who I am anymore. So, Mike, your Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm not very. You guys know I'm not very social. Everybody that knows me knows I'm not social. So
I mean, if
I had a quiet.
If you count 60 people that watched you propose, or it was more than that. How many were here for that?
Oh man, it was a bunch.
Okay.
It was Sean.
This is not a small house, and it was full of people.
Yeah.
So.
Coming soon on social media. Yes. I might post it, but it's
Thanksgiving.
I can talk about that later. Thanksgiving. So we went over to friends of ours' homes, and since we moved here to Glendale, California, the majority of the population is either Armenian or Persian. So we went to our friend's house, who is the husband is Persian, and the wife is Armenian. So everyone was either Persian or Armenian, and my fiance's family is Nicaraguan. So everybody else is Nicaraguan, and me. So
tall white Norwegian guy.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, but I'm going to tell you this much: I do have a little bit of Italian blood in me, and that's what I have learned about the Armenians. They're about as close to Italians as I've seen so far, and they try to punish you with food. And it's so delicious. So, I mean, it just kept coming in waves. I mean, it was like the appetizers were done, and I'm like, I'm full, thanks. Oh, and if you guys, I've never been, but I hear stories, I hear the rumors that Armenian weddings go like 20 courses deep. And this isn't a joke. And I mean, I've been to a couple of their parties, and I completely believe it. So, needless to say, I walked out of there, I was carved up. So
they've had a 96-hour carb load.
Yeah, right. So I carved up. So that's my Thanksgiving. How about yours, Jeff?
I went and I went and visited family, and it's a. You're right on point with Italians. I went and saw family. It's a family I get to see pretty much yearly, and they are. They're doing well for themselves. So there was a lot of food and a lot of drink, and it was non-stop. I vowed to try to not be a hypocrite in that a lot of the fitness stuff we post is like trying to find balance and not dieting 365 days a year. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll carb deplete, I'll do all these things to prep for Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day turned into the Thanksgiving Day plus the day after, and then it turned into the day after that and the day after that. And so it was my uncle, my aunt, my cousin, some family, some friends, alcohol, and food, and that was pretty much it. It was a nice, when you go to a movie and you come out in the parking lot and you're like, shit, back to reality. Like that whole proverbial oh man, that's kind of how it was the whole time we were there. There's our dogs. But yeah, it was cool, and a lot of good food and a lot of good alcohol and a lot of.
Could you pour us a little bit of apple juice, sweetie? Jeff would like some too.
And that was that. It was in Palm Desert, California, which is very. I don't even know how to put it.
Palm Desert?
Yeah.
Palm Desert's bougie.
Okay.
Yeah, I give it the bouge. Right. The thumbs up of bouge. Palm Desert.
Yeah, It was. You're sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hey.
This is our night.
They're the dogs.
So actually, on that note, I was telling Sean this the last time I spent like an hour shooting or recording a podcast once, and it didn't go. So this is where I pretend we have sponsors, and I'll say, and now a word from our sponsor.
Nice.
So I'll save it.
Okay. That right there?
And we're back. I just had to save it just because my original podcast with it was called Hippie and the Caveman, or is called Hippie and the Caveman, and we spent like an hour, and it was epic.
Yeah.
And I went and it fostered and died and deleted. So
when it fosters, then it dies.
We were so pissed. We're like, and the reason it's called Hippie and the Caveman is it's not demeaning to her. She's very hippie-ish. She's very let the world go around, and there's universe and happiness. And I'm all like, F the world, F reality, pessimism rules. So we called it Hippie and the Caveman, And so anyway, we knew we couldn't recreate it. We were both pissed, so we just see you in 24 hours. We'll do this again. So anyway, that's Hippie and the Caveman. So steer this boat. I don't want to do it alone. What should we talk about?
Let's see.
Okay. Let's do this, Mike. Okay, we'll segue into the Hollywood world and the Hollywood lifestyle. So Sean and I actually one of the few times, one of the two, I would say probably 2 times in this city of Los Angeles, Hollywood, whatever you want to call it, is the only time you can almost virtually guarantee not to be doing any work is Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right.
The running joke in Los Angeles amongst casting is the minute you schedule something, family, vacation, or otherwise, that's when you're going to do casting. And it's normally not like something like bodyguard number 2 in the background. It's normally some big, stupid freaking job. So I go to the route of antisocial. I don't do anything with friends, family, or loved ones in case of that moment. And the only time I plan for stuff is Thanksgiving and Christmas. Sean and I had a good Thanksgiving. We hung out with friends and family. Even I hung out with friends and family. However, in the business of Hollywood, Mike, what did you do today?
What a day it was, guys.
Did you get Thanksgiving off the whole holiday?
I did not get Thanksgiving off, actually. No. So a friend of mine that I met way back when I filmed an ABC family show called Greek, I met this guy. His name's Doug Tate. You guys can look him up on IMDb. He's actually known as the Creature Man in Hollywood now. And Doug and I were friends, and I was had a great day on set with him. And he's one of those guys like ourselves, actually like everybody here. We met by being on set. That's a good dude. And unfortunately, a lot of times in LA, because we are so busy and we all do have ADHD, it's like, oh yeah, dude, give me a call. And it never happens. Well, with us, it actually did. Doug was one of those guys. And then after that, for some reason, kindred spirits we talked about, we reconnected again on the set of G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, where I played a Neo Viper and he was one of the Vipers. And we got to hang out there a little bit too. And for some reason, he and his wife have a production company. And they've got a movie. It's called The Haunt. Again, if you go to IMDb, that's all on there. And it's actually, I can't say too much about it, but it's a cool little premise. It's a good girl. And what happened was they got some funding together, and they're doing their own movie, kind of like we're working on and all that. So anyway, they've had a movie, and Doug remembered me for a role of a big musclehead douchebag named Kevin. So, hey, shocker, right? So I got to show up there and be Kevin today. And it was, believe it or not, the last 2 days of filming were a lot of fun. It's The Haunt. It's obviously it's a movie about a haunted house, but I get to play one of the big guys that just so happens to be more in love with his muscles than he is scaring the good people that pay money to be scared. So
That's awesome.
Fun. But I think where you were going with this, Jeff, is
just like the big douchebag with muscles.
I keep it real.
We've all got that role.
We've all gotten that role. Yeah. But hey, his name was Kevin, not douchebag number 1.
Yeah, that's exactly. So your character in Hollywood, the thing is if you get a character's name, that's like okay, it validates you versus bodyguard number 2 or whatever. It means you're working your way up.
Yeah.
So ironically, on like Reservoir Dogs, where everybody was like Mr. Pink, Mr. Blue, Mr. Brown, Mr. Black. Ironically, on IMDb, prior to knowing the movie, that sounded like a bunch of bullcrap.
Right.
They sounded like my character in. The Brits Are Coming with Uma Thurman. My character's name is Handsome Man.
Handsome Man.
Which sounds like bodyguard number 2. But that was just like the weird code in the very Quentin Tarantino-esque character name. So that's why I laughed at Mike's big douchebag.
Well, so how glad am I to know that I'm Kevin? So that way when people look up my IMDb next to Jeff's, it'll be like, oh, there's Handsome Man. And there's Muscle-Bound Douchebag. So, awesome.
They got to actually have character names versus character descriptions. Because all of ours would be like muscle guy, douchebag, muscle guy, douchebag, bodyguard, lover. Wait, what? That can't be right. So yeah, that was just the way I was going with that with Mike is leave it to Hollywood to say you can actually relax on Thanksgiving, and then Mike has not that you're not going to production, but leave it to that, and then Mike has to shoot on his 4-day weekend. So
yeah,
and I think it's probably important because we know this, but we should point it out to everyone that when we talk about shooting right after Thanksgiving when you're playing some muscle-bound guy, that doesn't just mean like, oh, I can't really go far away. That means like on the day where everyone is eating the most possible food they can, you can't, because that's going to do something to your body. It's going to change the way your body looks on camera.
Yes.
So now I can't eat this or I can't eat that. Oh, wow, I've got a 16-course meal in front of me, and I can't have anything except those little, meat slivers or whatever. So
I took a truckload of glucose disposal agents and prayed. That's what I did.
It sounds like an 80s.
It's going into muscle, man. Glycobol's working.
It sounds like a damn infomercial. Take this, eat 10 pounds of turkey,
and pray.
That or the title of your autobiography.
Well, I mean,
glucose disposal.
but if I'm looking back in retrospect, I learned it from the Hulkster. Take your vitamins and pray, right? That's what the Hulkster said.
The Hulk Hogan Hulksters, that's who you're referencing?
Right, so I'm saying that, hey, brother, I took my glucose disposal agents and I said my prayers and I got up in the morning and I jumped into douchebag number 2 role. Yeah! And that's how I roll. That's what I do.
I don't even know where to go from here.
I'm sorry.
That was awesome.
I didn't know you could give the monkey some apple juice over here, and he jumps around.
I did not know he could do the Hulk. Hey, he says just give him a shot of the Psychosis pre-workout and you'll be fine.
Let's talk about the Psychosis pre-workout. Never again. Dude, you have to try this. Give him the other one.
Okay. No, not right now.
No, it can be funny.
He actually turns red.
I went red. You'd go purple.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah. What happened to you? You went red, too, didn't you?
Not as red as you. Because
Did you see the pictures?
You're pale.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Jeff, you were there.
Yeah, it was.
I literally, Florida sunburn red.
Wow.
Yeah. Bad.
All right.
Let's see.
Your skin was nuts, but I went to the gym, and it was on.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm not knocking the effectiveness of your product if we're talking about Psychosis. I'm just saying it's the strongest thing I've ever put into my body.
Hey-o. Let's see. Anything in the pipeline for you for film stuff?
Right now for me...
Or douchebag number 10 here?
Yeah. No, I'm finishing... Well, it's funny because I didn't learn this until I actually got into production. Like, for us, when we act, we show up on set as actors, we work, and we go home. And then maybe when the movie comes out, we hear some more stuff, but that's it. But when you're on the production side of it, you're living with that movie forever. Like the movie that's on Amazon now, available on Amazon Prime, and at regular Amazon, Race War, you can, that was finished a year ago, and we're still doing distribution work now, going to festivals and trying to get it into more outlets. So I'm not really used to working with something for so long after finishing it. But there's that, and then I'm also producing my third feature film, which is called Street Shadows, which is turning out to be insanely good. I really am just impressed with the team that we have and the work we're doing. So,
excuse me, I'm so sorry. Keep going. Sorry. You can do that. What's going on. Technology. There it is. But
so there's that, and then I haven't really talked about it, but it's only the three of us and the rest of the universe. In 2016, I plan to get back more into acting because, like I said, I spent the last 2 years focusing on production, and that's not why I originally moved to LA, even though I love it. But it's just something I let go for a little while, and now I'm ready to go back.
Well, I think that's the one thing a lot of people don't see on the flip side of the equation is everybody moves out here to be an actor, give or take, and then a lot of people realize they have to take their fate in their own hands, and then that's where they start making their own indies. Or for me, a lot of times I see in the stunt community, people are like, well, if I want to be in movies, I'll do stunts. And the next thing you know, they actually get too deep into whatever that secondary thing was that they wanted to do to get more work, ironically, takes over their life. So I know a lot of stuntmen become like, oh, crap, I'm a stuntman now. Or like, oh, crap, I'm directing or producing. And they're like, oh, hell, I came here to be an actor. And next thing you know, and so that's a huge conflict dichotomy thing.
I got to jump in on that one.
I see you twitching.
Yeah, I'm twitching. So today, one of the cast members is a guy by the name of Marty Kleba. And he was, if anybody saw any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, he was the little person. It was, you know what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
Yeah, Marty Kleba. He was. I don't remember his character's name. I'm sorry. I only saw the first one, but he was the guy that was always hanging out with the British actor that plays the
which one?
Yeah, right. Well, actually, yeah, right. The older guy. Oh, I can't remember his name. There's probably some Pirates of the Caribbean fans out there. Can you help me out here? Anyway, so he plays that. So my point being, Jeff, was he was telling me about how he ended up in that movie, and it started off as stunts. Like he was just there to do stunts, and then they gave him some lines and more lines, and the next thing you know, he's a character on there. You know, he came back he told me he did I I know he wasn't in the fourth one. I think there was three. The ones that Orlando Bloom were in.
He was in those.
Yeah, he was in those. Then he wasn't in the one with Johnny Depp and I think it was like Penelope Cruz or Selma Hayek or whoever it was.
I think the most recent one.
Yeah,
I think that's the most recent
right.
one.
And he just told me that he got finished filming 5, and I guess they filmed that in Australia, so they brought him back.
Yeah.
So there's the case of a guy that started off as a stuntman that actually got bumped up.
Okay, well then the opposite. I know the opposite of that is I know without this, I actually will protect his name, protect the name of the innocents by making up fake names or whatever. Let's just call him Steve.
Steve.
So I know a stuntman named Steve who actually they hired him for his swordplay capabilities for the original Pirates, and he was a stuntman. He'd done tons of random stuff in the past, and then they said, "Hey, which one of you stunt guys can do a British accent?" And he raised his hand and said, "Me." And next thing you know, this guy is also now, he's the go-to for Jon Favreau, Marvel, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., everything. And he came here to be an actor, and he's extremely happy with the path his life chose. He's very grateful. He's happy with his family, with God, his children. But it's ironic because he was so good at that, as a stuntman, raised his hand and said, "I can do this," and next thing you know, he's the stunt coordinator for the world. And so that's just the whole ironic dichotomy of a lot of people come here and I don't think they settle, but they're like, well, I really want to be in movies, and I'll do whatever it takes. And now I'm going to produce, and now I'm going to edit, and now I'm going to this.
And I'm going to do porn.
It's really hard. Yeah, I mean, some people do porn. Some people do porn.
And the funny thing about that is, from what I've learned, at least because we had to hang around a lot of stuntmen to do Race War, the movie that we're in together. And the thing about the stunt community, which is the same really in any facet of entertainment, is that other people who are a little bit ahead of you, they want to work with people that they like. They don't want to just say, "Oh, you're good at this, I'll see you later." They say, "Oh, you're good at this," and then they have the next movie, and they're like, "Hey, I want to work with him again. He was really good." And then they call you in for that, and they keep calling you in for stuff, which only makes sense. I mean, if you had a day job where you could just work with only the people you want to work with, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this city is all about networking, and to steer the boat a little bit, unless there's something highly important. This is a good spot to start to address. What I'll do is in each segment is address people's questions, comments, concerns.
Okay.
And so I guess we're in the Hollywood segment of the show, if you will. A person has actually a very good question. How do you guys supplement income, and does Hollywood pay you enough? Do you guys have side jobs? So that's actually a good little reveal into the world of Hollywood. We can just go down the line. Me, I'm fortunate enough in that it's thin. It's very thin. But luckily, I'm not a bouncer, I'm not a bartender, I'm not a server, I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not knocking anybody that does that because you got to do what you got to do. But I'm very fortunate that I live, eat, and breathe whatever Hollywood. Vicious guard dogs.
Yes, we have security here.
One of them wears a sweater, and one of them is 40 pounds. So let's keep it in perspective. These dogs aren't doing
One of them wears a sweater.
These dogs aren't doing shit. But I'm very fortunate in that that's all I live, eat, and breathe, and do. And I'm willing to live a little bit thin. Like, I have awkward dates where I'm like, can we go Dutch on this bill because I'm broke? So I'm willing to do that, to be available for those auditions, to be available for all those jobs. It is, not pat myself on the back kind of way, but it is very rare to be that a lot of people do that. I'm very, 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 very freaking fortunate. So for me, no side jobs, no. Do you count selling heroin?
No.
Just kidding. I don't sell heroin.
I've never paid for it. Thanks.
Well, I mean, I give like the friend discount. But yeah, no side jobs. I live, eat, and breathe this, and so it's a risky endeavor for me. But without going to, I guess, too many details. But yeah, my acting jobs pay the bills barely. Mike,
How much do you want me to give them?
I mean, whatever. It's up to you.
Well, when I first moved out here, like I said, I was a high school teacher back in Michigan, and I moved out here, and I wanted to pursue the career as well. So to do what I had to do to make ends meet, I wanted to bartend. I knew I could babble, so I could do that. And then I went down to the places like, for those of you that know Los Angeles, I was down in Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, and down there, it was very hard for me to get a job bartending because down there, that's very, well, I'll keep it real, that's a very hetero area. So they want to look at pretty girls. Well, I thought, where can I be the pretty girl?
That's how Mike wakes up every morning.
That's how I wake up every morning.
I just want to be the pretty girl.
Just once. So I got a job bartending in West Hollywood, and I did that for a while, and I knew nothing about the gay community at all until I moved to California and started working in West Hollywood, and I was like, wait a minute.
You cleaned house.
I was like, wait a second. Everyone here is super cool and super funny. They're nice. No one's trying to pick a fight with me. And all the dudes here want me to meet their girlfriends. And they tip really well. Okay, so what's the downside? What's the down part? So I did that for a while, and like I said earlier, entrepreneur, being the capitalist that I am, I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, and another thing that I'm noticing is that, like, everybody's ripped. Like, all these guys are in amazing shape. And it's at the time, when I was teaching, I was working side jobs. Like, I worked for Sylvester Stallone for a while. He had a company in 2004 called In Stone. So I worked there slinging intake performance in his pudding. And I was doing that, like, on the weekends. I'd go into...
You slung Sylvester Stallone's pudding?
I was slinging his pudding, baby. And, you know, the damnedest thing is he eats stuff that makes a Billy go puke. So imagine what his pudding tasted like.
Yeah,
for soy protein, it was okay.
Moving on.
You're taking this in so many directions.
Yeah.
I'm the one keeping it classy. You know? But so anyway, so I was doing that on the side, and I worked in the nutrition industry, so I had a background with that. So while I was bartending, I was also working for a couple different sports nutrition companies doing demos. I'd stand in a vitamin shop or wherever it may be, and stand there and talk about the product. So people come in and like, hey, can you tell me about blah, blah, blah? Can you tell me about this, that? And that's what I would do. So I had an opportunity to invest in a company called, am I allowed to say it? That's my company. Why couldn't I, right? N101. They had one in Hollywood, and they were going to open one up in West Hollywood. So I was like, wait a minute. You guys want to open a store up in the middle of the place where I bartend, where everybody's super cool, and they're all ripped? Yeah, I'm in. So I invested in that, and because of that, I was able to, get away from the bartending thing. And now I worked in my store every day for a couple of years. We built it up to the point where I'm actually now, like you, Jeff, able to focus on my career. And, I've booked I had a guest star and some co-stars, so I've actually been able to, keep the train rolling. Yeah. So
I would think the three of us probably emulate a very, again, not to like pat us on the back, but I think the three of us emulate a very rare or very unique subset of people that are willing to, especially with a family. That's a huge, I don't want to say obstacle, but it's a huge bump, whatever. It's a huge thing that makes it a little bit more difficult to make the horrendous of sacrifices or whatever. And so I think the three of us emulate a unique approach to Hollywood. We all have friends, especially, and it's ironic because I moved from Colorado, and a handful of Colorado friends moved from here almost all at the exact same time. And just because of social media, you can watch any social media and see who's doing what and why. And it's just the city can either destroy you with 10 jobs, or make you you could be homeless but working the film industry, or you could have 10 bartending jobs but also be paying the bills. So it's a huge but I think the three of us are very unique in that, like, Mike's created a business with his fitness thing. I've been able to pull off enough with just enough balance between the fitness industry and my acting jobs, and then and Sean, that's my segue to you.
Very nice, brother. I was just going along with it. I'm like, this is great.
How about that?
I was hearing this.
Sean was like, who's he going to talk about next? I'm intrigued. Oh, it's me. Shit.
No, for me, it's kind of interesting where my education before coming to LA led me to now, because I went to school thinking I wanted to be a lawyer.
Like college?
To college, sorry. And then when I got to college, I was like, oh, I don't want to be a lawyer. I want to play one. I don't want to actually do this every day. And, I was into political science, and I still love politics and all that. So, of course, I've done a lot of reading and writing and understanding and gibberish and everything else. And I'll bring up gibberish in a second. But since I've been in LA, I've had probably 1 to 2 million side jobs. So, yes, I've done that a lot. Just whatever, I could get to get a check and keep food coming in. And then a couple years ago, I started a production company. So that brings in with the reading and writing and gibberish skills, because you have to, a lot of times, just invent contracts. Like, there aren't just standard contracts for every single thing. Yes, there are in some cases. But a lot of times it's like, well, what do you want? What do I want? How do we write this so that we both get it, or so that you get exactly what you want or whatnot? So a lot of times that's a skill that I found that people really want. So they'll just bring you in and say, hey, I need somebody who can write this. Can you do that? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Let me get a list of what everybody needs. And it's funny how, like I said, at first I thought, I wasted all that time doing things in school. But no, it really helps now.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, did you 4-year degree the whole 9 yards?
Or? But I didn't go to law school. So
okay, but you 4-year degree like poli-sci?
Right.
Okay, I just pulled that out of my ass. Wow.
Were you in a fraternity or anything?
I am in a fraternity, actually. It's called
Am?
Yes.
Present tense.
Yes, because with
You
fraternities,
never leave. It's like a gang.
yeah,
It's like the Marines. Once a fraternity, always a fraternity.
exactly. Well, yeah, with a lot of people don't know that about fraternities. The only way out is either if they kick you out or you die, and it's for life.
Wait a second, that's the Supreme Court, right?
Yeah. Have you seen the movie
The
Skulls?
Skulls, exactly.
No, I haven't. Should I?
You haven't seen the Skulls?
It's a conceptually cool, but it's a crappy movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I like the idea of a secret society and the whole you must. But
That one. Okay.
it's a good movie, but it's not the best.
It's a fun movie. It's
If
not
you like
gonna-
Pacey from Dawson's Creek, which I'm not going to admit to, he's in that. But I will fight anybody that says otherwise. What I'm going to do, just for the sake of saving, we're going to pretend we have sponsors. I'm going to say, here's a word from our sponsors and hit save. So stand by. Don't say anything clever or witty. Okay, we are still rolling. The three of us need to create a movie together, yes. What the
Oh no, Sarah.
Yeah, we have like 10 different fans going on.
Yeah. My friend Eric from college, who went on to be a geophysicist, is amazing at designing stuff, and he designed this. So, rock god authentic. That's what Sean. So she said, "Cool shirt," and it's like it is a cool shirt.
I am sponsored by White T-shirt guy.
And tonight, I am sponsored by Sumo Dan. I don't know what he's selling, but he's selling a lot of love. And there it is.
I was very. This is. I was very subtly reminded today. Like I'm highly aware I have no fashion sense. I've never claimed to have it. I put on a 3-piece suit. I look good like at a distance, but if you get close enough, you realize the pants don't fit.
Wait, so you're good from far, but far from good. That's Jeff.
That's my new bumper sticker. But you'll see ring around the collar. You'll see this. Well, actually, a lot of my 3-piece suits, I have to get French. Because you're a tall dude too, but I have to get French cuff shirts because they're longer. But I'll roll the sleeves up, and then if I go like that, they'll tear. So if I take my jacket off, you'll see a tear right here on all my nice shirts. So I have ring around the collar. I got tears in here.
What was that cartoon character? Remember when they became the big monster, and his shirts always fit to here, and he's like dragging his knuckles on the ground. Remember, he was like in a tub.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Like
talking
a
about?
Bugs Bunny kind of
Yeah, Bugs
character,
Bunny
yeah.
character. Remember, he was like walking.
yeah,
he had this thing going on, and you could see like that much of his arms. Dude, that's both of us. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I remember.
It's
That.
horrible.
But where was I going with that? Oh, the fashion thing. So I was reminded today, pretty much I got back from Palm Desert, was parking as Sean pulled up. So I pretty much got back from Thanksgiving vacation, was grabbing my laptop as Sean pulled up. But I was reminded by an individual. She's like, your shirts don't fit, right? She's like, yeah, no, I'm highly aware. I have no fashion sense. She goes, you're a little short. I was like, well, I'm a little tall. She goes, I have a chain wallet, right? And I was like, I know, but I don't want to lose my wallet. Like, I'm highly aware I have no fashion sense, which is extremely...
But in your defense, because I would say body type wise, we're both. Wait, am I allowed to say how? No.
6'4".
6'4". We're both 6'4".
We're both tall.
And that being said, it's a nightmare to find clothes. Tis is true. So,
Yeah.
But a lot of times, again, are we allowed to say whatever stores we go to?
Yeah,
But like the Marshalls, Ross, TJ Maxx, all that stuff. I don't go there because I'm cheap. I swear to God, I go there because they have freak show sizes.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wow, because I wear size 15s. Yeah, that's fun. Imagine for those of you watching what it's like to have to walk into a store and say, what do you have? I'll take it.
So we had this exact conversation on the road. Like, I don't know about you, but I'll go to the shoe section, and the shoe section was the exact conversation we had. I'll look at the racking, look at the 15s, and then see what the shoe is. Size first, shoe second.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Exactly.
15s? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could use a penny loafer.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, sure, I could use some sandals, even though I came here for dress shoes.
Right.
And you never want to throw them away, do you?
Yeah, God.
I've got these
it's hard to be our size, so...
Yeah.
I do that, but usually at Bevmo. Because I just look at the price and then I see whatever it is.
Whatever I'll drink.
I want that. Okay, sure.
Speaking of which, you like apple juice?
I do.
Yeah. So I guess unless anybody has, I guess that's kind of our Hollywood world. You guys have any segues in Hollywood, like life or shenanigans, or?
Well,
I guess. Well, I'll do some plugs, and then odds are it'll set us on a sidetracking. But God, Deborah, thank you. Basically, we'll do random side whoring of our careers. December 20th, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You'll see a tall, Guido-looking mafioso named Nick DiTullio.
Hey, Nick.
Nick DiTullio, played by yours truly. So that's December 20th. Do you guys have time? What's the timeline on the thing you're shooting right now?
Isn't that a great question?
Welcome to Hollywood.
Well, I got coming up here. I've got I booked a show on National Geographic called Now We Know. So now we know, and I play a Christian bodybuilder. Don't ask. And it's not bodybuilder number 2. I've got speaking lines and everything, but it's just I happen to be very Christian. Then there's a show on MTV called Awkward, where I got a co-star on that, and that's coming up as well. Then I'm going to have the series finale of The Thundermans. I'm going to have
for those of you with kids.
For those of you with kids, it's on Nickelodeon. Yep. It's I've got a recurring co-star on that one, and then I just booked my first guest star on a Disney show called Gamer's Guide to Pretty Much Everything, and that'll be coming out as well. And that'll be, I think it's the season finale of that one. Right. So the problem is I just don't know when these dates air.
Yeah, that's the one thing in this city, and Sean will probably attest to on the production side of it.
Let me know.
Is you gotta constantly. It's kind of nice when you have an established series. And again, I'm not plugging, but basically, like for example, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They're an established series. They're on every Sunday night on Fox. Oh. So I can sit there and look at, hey, I did episode 11 on season 3. Go to IMDb, and you can do math. Basically, currently episode 10 is on December 13th. Do the math. 7 days, December 20th, my episode. So,
but they're not calling you saying, hey Jeff, you're going to be on Brooklyn Nine-Nine on
So all my friends and family are like, oh, I hear you're on it. I got to constantly look at that and then like make sure I post online and all that. So that's the nature of the beast with this industry. And I'm on a, like, how do I say this without, like, there's an NDA for this is a funny side thing, I'm sure, especially with you with contracts, non-disclosure agreement. It's a very standard, well, it depends on the project. For I would say the coup de grace of all non-disclosure agreement examples would be like Star Wars and Blue Harvest. Like, people tried to hide the original Star Wars so much that, like, even the reels, as in the old-fashioned film strips, were in cans, and it said Blue Harvest. So, because Spielberg wanted to hide, or Lucas wanted to hide, Lucas wanted to hide Star Wars so much that he fake named it. And so when it comes to, like, non-disclosures, when you hear actors trying to kind of being slightly aversive and a little bit nebulous, odds are they signed something that basically there's some ninja movie sniper off to the side. If you say, hey, I was in this movie, you'll get shot in the face.
Yeah.
But basically, one of the projects I'm in that airs March of 2016, it was the most ironclad non-disclosure agreement I've ever seen, because it is, by not saying the channel, I can help it a little bit. It's a daytime show that is so plot twisty, matrixy, that if any ounce of it is revealed prior to its air date, that I'll just crucify the world because there are so many plot twists. So that's a classic example of March 2016. That's all I can tell you. Whereas like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's like we're not rocket science here. It's a sitcom.
Yeah.
Thundermans. It's a child sitcom.
It's got a formula.
Like exactly.
And that's a kind of a sign of our times, because 10 years ago this was not an issue. There was no such thing as Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. So like now, whereas you have people who will tweet out about an audition they have, that stuff wasn't possible.
Well, and you'll go to auditions and it'll even say like, don't post this on Facebook, don't post this on Twitter.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Or were you over to Marvel? Oh my God, reading for Marvel.
Any Marvel audition, whether it's I'm sure Mike and I, although we don't look alike, we keep going to the same auditions. They're like, well, we know the guy with no hair or the guy with hair. With hair, no hair. But Agent Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or the black version of Jeff and Mike.
Yeah, there it is.
Like, that's what I should say to the casting. We need the Viking with hair, Mike Foster. We need the Viking with no hair and tattoos, Jeff Foster. We need the black version of both those guys with no hair, Sean Hampton.
Why the same 3 guys at all the auditions?
Fuck, hire these guys. But so like Marvel, Agent Carter, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., those guys have that stuff locked down. Like you said,
do you get your audition when you walk in the room too? Like you walk in and sign for it, and they give you an audition if it's a co-star.
Yeah, a lot of the big ones. I mean, Marvel has their stuff ridiculously locked down, where you sign away your life prior to even getting your script to audition with, because you cannot reveal anything.
So true.
You and I mean rightfully so, because Marvel is probably the only I don't know, what do you want to call it, production company that has actually got the formula spot on.
Well, DC's on the up
They're
and up.
trying.
They're trying. They're getting
Yeah,
there.
DC's trying.
But
DC's
they're
on-
basically mocking. They're basically going, let's do what worked for Marvel. Let's try that.
Yeah. It's time for the Justice League.
Oh.
They've got the Avengers.
Yeah, so.
But come on, be honest though. When you do walk into that studio, or when you walk into the auditioning over there in Larchmont,
Yeah.
so you go into Larchmont,
Wait, are
it
you
looks
talking
like a
about the
house.
house?
Yeah, the
Yeah, the
house.
house.
Looks like a house, and you walk in and see posters, and it's like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
Avengers 1 and 2, and it's like the inner nerd is just
Right.
like, whoa, I'm here.
And to your point about getting scripts and disclosure and all that, it's a delicate balance for production because number one, there are rules from the union, from the Screen Actors Guild, that say actors are supposed to have so much time to go over their scripts before they audition for you. It is possible to do what's called a cold read. That means they give you the script and then you have 15, 20 minutes to read it, memorize it, and then give them the performance. But I think we can all agree that you're not going to get the best performance with a cold read.
Yeah, because you're pulling it out of your butt at the last minute. It's an improv.
Yeah.
Basically. It's an improv read.
Yeah, it's showing them how comfortable you are as a performer when you do a cold reading, but it's nowhere near like you would never want that to be your audition. Because
You're like,
you're really
God,
just
don't use this.
Yeah, you're rolling the dice with a cold read.
Yeah.
So it's that balance. Not to mention, there are a lot of people who, whenever I go to panel discussions or any kind of industry stuff, and you're talking to other producers, some of them want you to have a huge social media presence.
It's automatic business.
Yeah, and because they say, hey, this person has 38,000 people who listen to them, and I want them to advertise about the movie.
I'd like to take a moment and say thank you, everybody, for being here and listen to what Sean just said. We appreciate your help.
I was going to say a perfect example of the audition process we're still in Hollywood news or Hollywood life, I guess, is since I came from a theater background, is in theater you have a monologue that you've worked on and you've rehearsed, and they have a 60-second monologue, and then typically it'll be dramatic, comedic, or you'll prepare a monologue and tailor it towards the character you're auditioning for. So if it's a drama or comedy, a cry one, an angry one, you'll pick a monologue and you can rehearse it and show them what you have to offer. Whereas these cold reads, it's a shit show. However, when it comes to Marvel, and I mean, I'm guessing, tell me your guys' thoughts, when it comes to Marvel or these very character-driven, I mean, these are established characters in the comic book realm. The minute you walk in the door, odds are they already know just aesthetically, like you fit the comic book or you don't fit it. Performance, we'll work on that.
Right.
But the minute you walk in, they're like, you don't fit like this. It's an established image. Mm-hmm. So I think that's possibly why they go, we'll do the cold read. Who cares if he can act?
Right.
We need somebody that looks like it that hopefully can act. And if he can act in improv, i.e. a cold read, all the better. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like Mike, perfect example. They're like, hey, we need a dude that looks 6'6" with long hair and Viking looks.
Why couldn't they have made Thor a decade earlier? That's my question. That's all I want to know.
How tall is that guy?
Hemsworth?
Yeah.
What is he, 6'3"?
6'3", I think.
6'2", 6'3".
So that's not too bad a casting for the God of Thunder.
I've got nothing
I'm
but
saying
respect.
compared to like Tom Cruise and Jack Reacher. It's not that far. It's not that far gone.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Can we take a moment to just go? Well, no. I don't want to publicly fillet Tom Cruise, but I will say one of the things. This is Iron Mike Foster saying this. So if Tom doesn't want to hire me in one of his movies, I'll be okay. Because you know why? Tom will never hire me in one of his movies, and he won't hire Jeff, and he won't hire Sean. Because the last time we saw Tom Cruise next to a tall guy was in 1987 in Top Gun when they just shot down the MiGs. Maverick saved the day, and he jumps out, and Merlin's behind him, who happens to be Tim Robbins, who's 6'5", and take a look what Tom Cruise looks like next to him. And you can guarantee that little feller said, this is the last time I'm going to stand next to a tall person on camera. Henceforth, the three of us don't get roles with Tom Cruise. I said it. Bring it, Tom.
Two quick stories to back up what each of you just said. So as far as height, I knew a casting director from a really popular show on Fox that I loved. I won't say the name of the show because this is a bad story.
Yeah, and you want to learn to keep your job.
Exactly. But the lead character is rather short in real life. So the producers decided in the casting office they're going to put a line on the door where you walk out. So that way casting would know if an actor is over this line and they're reading for a part opposite our lead, don't bring them back in because they're too tall. You never knew that walking in because you're just walking into audition.
It's tripwire.
But yeah, so that means that, exactly. That means no matter what you did when you came in the door, boom, you're just kind of...
You could be Oscar-winning performance, it
exactly.
wouldn't matter. Well, that's a perfect example of this city. Actually, a crazy segue is, so a family member asked me about he didn't grasp the concept of in this industry you can put in 2,000% work effort and get 0% return. That's potentially the possibility.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I won't say it, but I obsessively track how many auditions I've had since January 1. The number is worth bragging about, but it's high. And he goes, well, why haven't you booked every one of, why don't you have work for every one of those? It's literally because of, it can be something from performance, your eye color, to the casting director's having a bad day, skin tone, you're taller than the girl. I mean, there are a bajillion
Somebody's
reasons.
got a nephew.
Yeah, there could be a bajillion reasons you do or do not get a job, and as obsessive compulsive and anal and tightwad as I am, even I have let go trying to figure out how to win. I want to know, I've done everything in my realm of possibility to do it, but when it comes down to it, Mike and I have got auditions for the same jobs, the biker one we just did.
The biker one, and then also the one with The Rock.
Yeah. And
the Magnificent Seven?
Yeah, a perfect example. Yeah, and exactly. And there literally is no rhyme or reason in this city why you get a job. And that's, I think, the one thing, whether it's a green person, a kid, or a new person, or whatever it may be, is bordering on opening a vein is because there's the one thing, I guess if there is a tip to offer new people in the city is do 1,000,000% what you can do, and outside of that, don't critique it, don't guess it, because there's two examples. One thing, I went to a Mad Men casting director after the series had been wrapped. The casting directors did a little session over the SAG office, and this was revolutionary to me. They said they had cast, and I haven't seen the final episode, but they had cast an actor in the final episode of the final show of Mad Men, of the whole run, that they had auditioned in the very first season, one of the early episodes. And they were like, this guy isn't right at this time, but we're going to put his old-fashioned 8x10, pin it up on the wall, and come back to him. 7 years later, they go, okay, time to come back to him. And they got him, and they did it in X, Y, and Z. So you never know, it could be something like that, this guy's not right now. Or like Sean was saying, too tall, moving on. Right. I mean, this city is built on, and good, bad, or indifferent, city is built on the bare minimum superficiality, and not in a derogatory way, but I mean, camera-wise, a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" guy,
guys,
cast opposite of a 5'2" actress. I mean, from production side, that's if you pair them side by side, you have 1.5 feet of empty space above that actress.
Well, Uma was tall, right?
Yeah, so a perfect example of the opposite of that is Uma Thurman. When I worked with her, she was ecstatic because it was the first time she'd worked with an actor that didn't need apple boxes, didn't need something to stand on, and actually made her feel like a regular small woman.
Yeah.
And so that's the superficiality aspect of it. Performance, I almost think, God, I would almost dare say it's almost secondary in the decision-making process.
It's very true.
Looks first, and then...
Yeah. I'm going to hit save. We're going to pretend as a sponsor for us, and we'll... Because this is gold.
Solid gold.
This is 47 minutes of gold.
Who remembers the solid gold dancers?
Ooh.
Anybody?
Solid gold
You
dancers.
wouldn't. Thank you.
Hey, Karina, what's the score?
You know what? I'm shopping. I don't know.
Can you yell at me the next time you see a score?
I've been online shopping. You got to wait 4 more hours. Cyber Monday.
So, hey, anybody watching this, tell me what the Broncos-Patriots game is with the score.
Yeah, Broncos-Patriots game. Anybody?
Losing by 7. I root for Peyton Manning.
I'm not going to swear.
I know.
What?
I root for Peyton Manning. I
They
like his
still don't have him
commercials. Come on,
playing?
tell me the dude isn't kind of funny.
I love his capitalist spirit. I love that. Because he's just on everything. It's like, dude, you're not making enough money. You're taking all the money.
I can't
I love
focus
that.
And you wouldn't do it.
Oh, I would do it a ton.
I know you would. To capitalism.
Oh, to capitalism.
I can't concentrate right now.
Oh, sorry.
Peyton's not playing. They're losing.
Hey, can I expound a little bit upon what you were saying with the whole 7 years later?
Yeah.
Just goes to me when it comes to auditioning and that happening, there's 2 things that I would like to address. Number 1 is longevity. It seems like the people that we see in this industry have the ones that have been stuck it out. Because a lot of people do come here, they do get those jobs, either bartending, waitressing, do what they can to get by, and after a couple of years, they're like, man, it's not worth it. I'm packing it up, moving home,
right.
Or going to Barstow, and I'm just going to do meth the rest of my life or whatever it is. But
Always an option.
Always an option. And the other one is, I was going to say, is like what Jeff was talking about, the audition process. As soon as you finish that audition, forget about it.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. Well, it doesn't drive me nuts. I think it's awesome when people ask me, hey, how'd it go? But I never post when I have auditions because I'm convinced I'm going to jinx myself. So, yeah, that's why I never put them out there, Facebook. But it's like once you finish that audition, the healthiest thing in the world you can do is forget about it.
Absolutely.
Because like Jeff said, it's not about, oh, my God, did I say get out of here as well as I could have? Or should it have been get out of here?
Right.
What should it have been, Jeff? You're going to lose your, like Jeff said, you're going to open a vein.
Yeah.
You know, maybe both femorals, even hit the insides. Get them done. But that being said, you have no control.
Yeah.
I just did an audition. I actually had a callback for NCIS.
Perfect.
And it was a Navy SEAL. I'm sorry, Jeff. He's a Green Beret. That's why. So it was for a Navy SEAL, and I came out, and I know I rocked the audition, and they called me back. The problem is when I went in for the first audition and the callback, every guy that was there was between 5'11" and 6'1", and probably weighed $175 to $180. Looked about 10 years older than me, had beards, long hair, and I was like, because it was supposed to be a long-haired, like old crusty SEAL. And I was like, I know what happened here. They're like, okay, well the big guy actually could string a couple of sentences together. Let's bring him back and just show production and see if they want a big dude. But then I come to find out, like Sean said, he's like, but your scene would have been with LL Cool J.
Oh, he's like a midget.
Right. Well, yeah. What's going to happen is, like, they're going to let, like, Sean, you called it. Like, they're going to let LL Cool J come into a scene and go like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And look up. It's not going to happen, so.
And I've always said that anyone who is an actor or trying to aspire to acting, one of the greatest things you can do is go sit in on a casting session anywhere. I don't care if it's a low-budget production. I don't care if it's a big-budget movie, because you'll be immediately freed of all of your superstitions and all your craziness. Last year, I was able to cast a show, a TV pilot that I wrote. So I'm watching people come in to read for parts that I made. So I've seen these people in my head before, at least so I thought. And the ones who got the part are the ones who came in and they showed me somebody that I didn't know ever existed. They took the character in a different direction. That doesn't mean it's always going to work, because some people did that, and I was like, did you read the sides at all? Do you know what we're casting? Because that's not what we're casting. But these other people, they just had a little spin on it. So while I saw maybe out of 30 people auditioning, I probably saw 10 that it looks like they didn't really read it. I saw maybe another 10 to 12 that did what I thought they would do.
10.
And then the rest of them, I saw something different and something just that surprised me. So, like I said, if you actually sit there and you see that happen live, you're like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything. As long as I'm giving the best performance I can, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
You know?
The city will melt your soul if you overthink it.
Oh, of course.
I mean, there's no way about it. And here's on the flip side of that, and we should probably get out of the Hollywood world, but on the flip side of that, the one thing I think the three of us would agree on, and I think it's rare, is I have a handful of friends, peers, acquaintances, work peers that they got to the point where they've had that so much that they're jaded. Like, I would rather, and this is just me, I don't think it's right or wrong or better or worse, I would rather have those crazy highs and lows, because I put everything into, I mean, Michael will attest to it, like, I've had a couple roles, especially for like Marvel and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a couple new, like Flash, for example, where I put everything into it, and so when I didn't get it, my soul was crushed. So it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22, because if you get jaded and neutral, like, that's a miserable way to live your dream. As cliche and like huggy, lovey-dovey as that seems, this is like a lot of people's dream. I would rather have crazy highs and lows and these crazy insulin spikes of emotional ups and downs than go, oh, didn't get that role. Oh, I got this lifetime role, this role of a lifetime dream role. Oh well, I'd rather come, skyrocketing and crashing down than live this almost like this drug haze of auditioning process. I mean, I think a lot of people get to that, like, God, like I'm not knocking a handful of these people that come to mind, but God, it sounds so miserable. They just seem so sedated with their life right now. So that's the one that, if I could expound upon that for a moment, if we have a moment. I had an audition, and I actually got a call back for I think it's called Going Under. It was one of those untitled at the time, but it was a Bruce Willis movie. Like Jason Momoa, a bunch of people are in it, and it called for the role of big, giant, muscular drag queen. Well, going back to what I said earlier about where I bartended, no straight man is going to drop a purse like this girl.
So I went all out, all the part where I had a mani-pedi and I had my nails done for real.
Wait, is this the picture that's floating around of you?
Yes. Yes, it is. And I had Karina straighten my hair. And I mean, I had a dress. I mean, I literally, and the best part is I went into Marina Del Rey, which is, again, predominantly heterosexual. I go in, I do the audition, and I'm leaving. And this is like at 10:45 in the morning. I got to tell you this one. This is great because I know both you guys will appreciate this. So I am dressed in full drag, ready to rock, all right? So I do the audition. I go walking back out to my car. Literally 5 minutes later, the phone rings, and it's my agent. And he's like, you're never going to believe this. I'm like, what? He's like, you got a call back. And I'm like, holy, this is great. When? And he's like, 4:30. And I'm like, oh, my God. So do I drive
Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was like, yeah, right.
And you're so in character.
I was very excited. So I was like, well, this is for a Bruce Willis movie? Awesome. And then my scene would have been with Bruce. So basically I'm like, wait a minute. Do I want to drive all the way back to Glendale and then all the way back here? Or do I stay here and hang? Well, Karina made it very clear, my fiance, made it very clear that my hair needed to stay straight to continue this character. And if any moisture touched it, that the curls were going to come back. See? You see what I'm dealing with here? Does anyone see this?
So, see what I'm not dealing with.
Yeah, exactly.
When living in the South, that's all I heard from girls. It's like, oh, this moisture is killing my curls.
Right? So I was that girl. So I'm like, it's happening. So I was like, well, this isn't any good. So I'm like, what the hell am I going to do from 10:45, 11 o'clock in the morning until 4:30 until my audition? I was like, I'm going to go to my business in West Hollywood. Of course, that's where I'll be safe. So I go, and for those of you that aren't from LA, West Hollywood is a very gay-friendly city. Rainbow flags fly.
The epicenter.
The epicenter, yes. I'm in the epicenter. So I drive in there, and lo and behold, unbeknownst to my knowledge, it was Gay Pride weekend. So I had a fabulous time. I hung out at my store. People came in, and they were like, we haven't seen you in so long. Oh.
We had no idea.
We had no idea, and I'm like, that's right. So it was great because I kept working on the character all day long, and I went back and rocked it. But getting back to what you were saying, I was so jacked for that. I mean, think about it. How many straight guys out there can say they were at 11 gay prides in 5 years? I can.
I can't. Sorry.
I was proud. So I went in there and I'm like, this is my role. There's no way that I not went through, I had a blast, but there's no way that I've worked at a gay bar for, 6-7 years, went to all these gay prides, been to, every Sunday they showed football and drag. Yep. So I've probably seen over 100 drag shows and I'm like, this is my role. And then when I didn't get it, that highest of highs.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Boom! And I was like, son of a drag queen!
I'll round out the segment with a quick story of mine like that. So years ago on Fox, there's a show starring Eliza Dushku named Dollhouse. Okay, and I actually watched this show. It's the only show like that I was really watching, and I loved the concept of it. And Joss Whedon was the creator of the show. Oh, God, I got a call for an audition as a new character on the show. And so I go in there. I didn't know Joss Whedon was in the room when he was. I didn't know what he looked like at the time. I go in there and I do the audition, and it was a great audition. I mean, he actually said, wow, somebody who's seen the show, that was great. And like I said, I didn't know it was Joss Whedon at the time. I went home and I looked him up and I was like, oh my God, that was Joss Whedon right there complimenting my acting. The next day I get a call that says, hey, you got the part. Great. I'm going to be a character on a Joss Whedon show that I actually love. Perfect. I'm on cloud nine. And then the next day, I get a call that said, hey, Fox canceled the series and they wrote your character out. So in 24 hours, I went from spending all my new Fox character money to not having anything at all. So, dude, I had the best vacation planned out.
That's like literally the dream come true job.
Yeah.
Like that's the I made it moment.
Right, and especially because, I mean, as you guys can attest to, like, when you actually like the show, on top of getting a part on it.
That helps a lot.
Like, for example, any show that I've been on, I really never watched. Other people I know watch. They're like, "Oh my God, you're going to be in a scene with this person," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's Jake. He's cool." But it's not that I'm ungrateful, but I just, it's different when it's your show that you like to watch. You know, so we're basically heroin addicts, is what we're telling you.
Yeah, exactly.
We're chasing the
up
dragon
and down.
That's all
Well, speaking of which, before we get off Hollywood, if I may ask, we're all chasing the dragon. Who's your dragon? What director? If you could pick any director that you could work for and have an actual role, not just, big guy number two, all right, who would it be?
Living or dead?
Ben Affleck.
Oh, sorry, Ben Affleck. Okay.
Right off the jump. Didn't you think you've been thinking about this for a while? Do you have some sort of a bromance going on that I'm not aware of?
I do have a bromance with Ben Affleck, but it's honestly I've been watching it, and Alicia, the girl we do Hippie and the Caveman, the other podcast, she always gives me shit about this, but he's kind of had this weird nebulous, like this weird career transition from actor to director, and like as a director. He seems to. I think he's next. Like he will be the next.
Brilliant.
I agree.
And that's why. And I've seen interviews with him, and I've seen like even what is it? Jersey Girl. Did you guys see that? The Kevin Smith movie? Mm-hmm. Utter failure. Kevin Smith constantly rips on this movie, and I think it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. To be honest with you, like as far as like they were doing the video, the DVD commentary. And I'm pretty sure Ben Affleck did not come up with this statement. I think it's a theater background statement. But he said something like, living realistically in imagined circumstances. Like, there was a moment where, in the movie, if you haven't seen Jersey Girl, Ben Affleck's character yells at his, basically, this is where he and J-Lo met. And in the movie, J-Lo's character, spoiler, J-Lo's character.
Beginning of the end.
Yeah. J-Lo's character dies, like, in the opening 5 minutes in the movie. Like, you're like, oh, shit, J-Lo's dead already? And that was Ben Affleck's character's wife, and so he's left with a widow. He's widowed and has a daughter. And in the movie, Ben Affleck's character yells at his daughter, saying, "I wish you weren't alive. I wish you would have died with your mother." And Ben Affleck the character loses it. And that was the part in the DVD commentary where he goes, these are the moments where you just got to live realistically in imagined circumstances. And whether that's honestly, I think it's a theater quote. But the fact he brought that back, I'm like, holy shit. That's all acting is. We don't need to blow it out of proportion. We don't need to method act if you choose to. You don't choose to. At the end of the day, you're pretending to be in those real world, like when we were playing Cowboys and Indians as kids.
Right.
And then as I see him direct and as I see him do all these amazing things, and I see him coming back as an actor/director, I really honestly want to jump on that bandwagon, and I have a bromance on Ben Affleck.
Watching him in Argo, knowing that he directed it and he's the lead, he's carrying the movie, and he's directing it. That sold me. I was like, this guy,
and
he's like where Clint Eastwood started.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is I think he's coming. He's new. And side note on that, they screened Argo at the Telluride Film Festival, and I snuck into that. And the way I snuck into that is I paid the cheap like $5 entry fee. Went into the bathroom after the free screening. I took my shoelaces out of my... Oh, God.
Oh, no.
We're back.
Right.
I took the shoelaces out of my shoe and made a fake lanyard, hid it under my shirt, and then when his screening started, I put up my cell phone in my ear and put on my Ray-Bans and walked to the lobby of the thing, and I just kind of went like this and like took my shoestring and acted like it was my pass.
Yes.
And they let me into the screening of Argo, not edited yet. It still had all the weird cuts in post-production. Sat down and I acted like I was on my cell phone the whole time, and I was like, holy shit, it was Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner were literally in front of me. And I didn't realize I'd snuck into this movie, because they wouldn't release what the main event was. So I actually didn't know I'd snuck into Argo. Wow. So I took a nap for about 2 hours in the toilet at the bathroom at the Telluride Film Festival to see Argo. And then they had this huge interview with some LA reporter. And so, at that point, that's where I was like, I saw him, especially with Argo. That's where he kind of... What was it before that? Gone Baby Gone?
No.
Was that after?
No, it was The Town, wasn't it?
Yeah, The Town.
The Town.
And I just see that happening, and I see him being the new next. Like, obviously, there's some huge traditional ones like, Lucas Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino. Like, you see the big ones, but I see, like, the ones that are going to be next and sustain and go on from here. I think, honestly, as much as my bromance aside, I really think he's on his neck. He's the next wave of the new directors. So, Mike. Director dream.
Well, you got me sold on Ben Affleck. I mean, that's wow. I never saw that one coming.
You hear that, Mr. Affleck? I converted.
Yeah.
Cast me.
I've got, actually, I'm going to say two. One for vanity reasons. Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Zack Snyder can make picking your nose look cool.
Yeah. Right. Everything he does, Watchmen, the new Man of Steel, and all that stuff. I mean, and I first stumbled across him in Dawn of the Dead because the original George A. Romero classic, which is one of my all-time favorites, the 1978 Dawn of the Dead, is one of my favorite movies because of the social commentary. I thought it was amazing. And how Zack Snyder did drift away from the social commentary, I saw how he made that and the homages he made to it, and I was like, oh, this is visually cool.
Yeah, because guilty of this. He's the one that did the mall version of it with Tyrese.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know that, that was Zack Snyder's.
Yeah, Zack Snyder did the reboot of Dawn of the Dead, which is a reboot, which not a lot. I don't think a lot of people saw the original.
I loved it, but I didn't know it was Zack Snyder until you pointed that out.
Yeah,
so it actually
that was his first movie.
Duffy, the character from Modern Family.
Oh,
Ty
Burrell.
Ty Burrell. Yeah, he's actually one of the main characters in the movie. In that,
I love that line where he's like, everything was fine until they started falling down, and is everybody dead? And he's like, well, I don't know, they were when they fell down, and then they got up and started eating everybody.
He was an asshole.
He was such an asshole.
Very different than Modern Family.
Yeah, so if you like Modern Family, watch Dawn of the Dead. But then, after that, then he did 300, and I think any red-blooded American male that saw 300 all of a sudden went, I'm going to go to the gym now.
I was going to say, gym membership spiked by about 150%.
And so did spray on abs.
Exactly.
That's not why.
Yeah, that's true. But I would say that for the vanity purpose, but as far as as an actor, there are very few people that if they walked in this room, I would fall apart and not be able to talk. And that would be Clint Eastwood. If I had a chance to work for Clint Eastwood, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just go, you're Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a timely one. He's got a shelf life left. He's
and he's still everything he makes. I mean, for example, even Gran Torino. And no offense, but the Asian actors in that movie were absolutely horrific. The only good acting in that movie was Clint Eastwood and the barbershop guy.
And his shotgun.
And shotgun.
The shotgun was a fine performance.
Yeah.
Right. And the one guy, what's the black guy's name that was the one who was, what you doing here, old man? And now he was actually in a few new movies. His career's starting to take off.
Yeah, I saw him at the last meeting, but I don't remember his name.
What was he? Oh, no. Okay, I would have just. All right, here we go.
Who's that black actor? We know you guys hang out.
No, but you know what I'm talking about when he pulls up.
There's only four of you blacks in
Son
Hollywood.
of a... you know what?
I thought that was getting glazed over. I was like, I'll just leave that alone.
You're going to toss me a softball, I'm going to hit it.
Well, the point being is when he pulls up to the three fellas, we'll leave the race out of it. The gentleman that was coaxing the Asian actress into, he was good too. But other than that, it was a terribly acted movie, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would you admit the acting in that movie was bad?
It was, they needed some work.
Yep. But was the movie not
Maybe
amazing?
Some better editing. Yeah.
Which goes to show how awesome Clint Eastwood is.
Of course. Yeah.
Well, American Sniper. So.
Oh man. Yeah. Heartbreak Ridge, one of his first ones. Come on.
Sean, director of Dream.
Well, for me, it's going to be two guys, but for different parts of my profession. So first, as a director, I love Quentin Tarantino, and I wouldn't want to be directed by him because I would want to actually see what he does.
Yeah.
I want to see him directing and study from that and be
Makes
like,
sense.
I want to take that guy's notes. And then as an actor, I would love to be directed by Peter Berg, who we were just talking about his movie.
One of my favorite guys.
Yeah, he did Lone Survivor.
Rundown.
He did Rundown. He did Hancock, which a lot of people didn't like, but I thought was a great
Hancock,
movie.
Yep.
And I really like him because he was an actor, or he is an actor, so he understands what you're going through when you're on camera.
Yeah.
I've heard directors like Michael Bay don't really kind of respect the process of acting, which can make it difficult for us if you have a director who doesn't empathize with you.
Yeah.
But and also Peter Berg has a vision that most people don't have. We were talking about Lone Survivor earlier, and he does things that other people don't understand. And why did he do that? And then later in the movie, you're like, oh, that's why he did it. Yeah. So, I really appreciate that.
I've been trying to cross paths with that guy. There's a boxing gym I go to, and I've been trying. I know that's where he goes. I'm just like
Peter Berg.
Yeah. I'm trying to constantly. God, if I could just spar with Peter Berg, knock his jaw off his face, I'll cast that guy. He might hit me again.
Right?
Do you remember the '80s horror movie at the end of the '80s called Shocker? With the guy that was jumping
in the movie. Yeah.
Peter Berg was the high school kid.
Well, do you remember Aspen Extreme?
X-Men, what?
Aspen Extreme, where he was a skier.
No,
I knew that movie, but I didn't know he was in it.
No.
Yeah, he's like the main character.
Didn't know.
He's I don't want to use the word sidekick, but he's the sidekick of the main character.
Well, I know he's in Copland.
Even bigger role than that.
Copland was great.
One of
The
my
Great White
favorites.
Hope.
The Great White Height.
Yep.
Yeah. And did you know that he also directed Very Bad Things?
Oh, yeah.
Which is awesome. I love that movie.
With Christian Slater.
Christian Slater and Jeremy Piven.
And unfortunately, he directed Battleship.
I think that's the one he's chalking out of.
That was actually not his fault. I read an interview with him where he said, he came in one day to a meeting with the studio, and they said, hey, we're going to give you, we're going to double your budget, and you're going to shoot in, the South Pacific. And he said, well, I wasn't supposed to shoot in the South Pacific. Why are we doing that?
Right.
And they just said, okay, and whenever that happens, that's death of a movie. So,
Yeah.
They killed it at the studio level. Surprise, surprise.
All
We
right.
have to reset our live video.
I know we went that long, so part 2.
When mine happened, would you?
absolutely.
Let's see. We got some.
You got about a good 6 minutes.
Peter Berg, I remember him from American Flyers. Oh, Laura, American Flyers. Mitch Pileggi was in Shocker, I know, right? And he was also in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
Remember? He was the white supremacist guy.
Well, since everything's taking a crap for a moment, I'm going to hit save. Word from our sponsor, Joe.
Word from our sponsor.
Yeah.
Which is not true.
Michael Bay would be epic. Michael Bay would have a lot of explosions, Laura.
All right, we are back finally. Okay, I think we could probably get away from a little bit of Hollywood crap. Let me see if there's anything that spawns any thoughts. Hello, Gwen. Blah blah blah. Editing. Psychosis. No problem. Depressing.
I have an idea then. How about if we want to get away from Hollywood, what do we talk about? Why don't we talk about maybe hobbies or interests we have that are outside of Hollywood?
By that. Yeah.
Like, what do we do to get our minds off Hollywood?
Drink apple juice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point. So yeah, I guess segment number whatever this is
Spark me up.
what do we do outside of Hollywood? Teresa, I don't want to talk about the game. What do we do outside of Hollywood? You'll see pictures of friends and family or cohorts or peers. For me, I have a lot of friends from Colorado. You'll see them hanging out at the beach with their loved ones and so on and so forth. What do I do outside of Hollywood? I don't do anything.
No, you don't.
Yeah, no, I really don't.
Yeah, you don't.
I go to the gym, which to me is fun and therapeutic. It's my zen, but it's also part of another tool in my Hollywood toolbox.
But now, honestly, do you feel that you would be, out of shape and not really care about your fitness if, like, tomorrow you said, I don't want to do Hollywood anymore?
Yeah, no, good point. Like, I would still go to the gym. Mm-hmm. I've always done that. It's always been a part of my life, whether it was in the military or outside of firefighting. The gym was still there. However, now it's become an asset in the hiring or in the casting process. So, to a fault, I would probably say that guy friends, girlfriends, family, everything in between, to a fault, is pretty much constantly pissed at me because I don't do anything outside Hollywood. So I'm probably the right end of the spectrum of.
You don't even do anything here when I try to ask you to do
Yeah,
stuff.
like Mike and I are like a foot away from each other. He's like, "Do you want to do something?" Like, no, I got stuff to do. So
Fine.
I can't even do anything with my own family, let alone the guy that like lives a foot away from me. So
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm probably admittedly the right end of the spectrum of bordering on unhealthy because even if it's your dream, doing it too much, it becomes exhausting. So I'm the right end of the extreme. But Mike, what do you do on? I was a firefighter. So Mike, what do you do in the middle? What do you do away from Hollywood?
Well, away from Hollywood, I like to travel.
Your voice was very in a world.
Yeah.
The way you said that.
All right.
You could have heard it on my headphones. I was like,
Coming soon, my answer.
In a world where Iron Mike Foster lives.
2016.
That's right, 2016. He's going to be doing a lot of traveling. He's going to go to a lot of concerts. My new favorite band, Sons of Texas, hopefully will come back to Los Angeles.
Yes, Mike goes to a lot of concerts.
Yes.
Go to actually Karina she's all about concerts too. So we have season passes to the Hollywood Bowl, which is awesome because we saw Journey. They saw them kick off their summer tour.
Stop believing.
You stop believing, or you're gonna stop believing?
Don't stop believing.
Why would you?
That's the advice.
Why would you stop believing?
Yeah. Are you going to stop believing, Sean? Not now, man.
down.
We've come so close.
Calm down, Hulk.
Right. So I love concerts. And another thing, too, is because, like Sean, unlike Jeff, we're flatlanders. And, he's from Florida. I'm from Michigan, and Michigan is flat as a board. So I got out here, and one of my biggest fears is heights. Like, I don't even, if I dunk a basketball, I don't even like to hang on the rim scared of heights, right? So, that being said, I took up skiing. Went brilliant, right? And I did that to overcome my fears. And it started off for those of you that ski, the greens, like the littlest greens ever. For those of you who don't ski, the bunny hills were really scary, all 2.5 miles an hour. I'm like, I'm going to fall. And now I'm rocking out some blue blacks and some blacks over in, go to Mammoth, Tahoe, Big Bear Snow Summit. For those of you around LA, you'll appreciate this. When I want to go totally ghetto, I go to Mountain High. and not for the people, for the fact that it is just the most beat up looking. I'm sounding bougie right now.
Yeah,
it's the most beat up ski resort I've ever seen. Like you go there and there's like parts of the ski lift missing with pads, that are chewed up.
Can ski trail and ghetto exist in the same universe? I don't know.
To those that wear North Face, yes, yes, I can.
Christ,
No, it was a spider. I got to tell you a story, man. So,
SPY.
yeah. So you know about this stuff.
Yeah.
So I know nothing about skiing. So Karina, my fiance, when I say Karina, she decides that she's going to start throwing. She wanted me to get me a ski outfit because it was her first time skiing. So she gets me the spider stuff.
Tim.
The worst skier of all time is flying down the mountain at all 2.5 miles an hour, falling over in spider gear. I'm that guy. Like, people look at me like, what, you were in spider gear and you suck that much? It's like, oh, damn it.
My ski pants have duct tape on them.
Sure.
From an accident I had where a rock ripped my ass open.
And you probably can ski like James Bond did. Yeah, exactly.
Not much better, but yeah. So, Sean, what do you do to get away from Hollywood?
Well, like yourself, I love fitness, and so I'm into that a lot. Mike has recently gotten me into hiking. So that's kind of a new thing for me, just climbing up rocks and mountains and all that stuff. So that's fun.
Plug the drone.
Yeah,
plug the drone.
That's true. He just got me into.
Kid, it sounds like a sex move. The reverse Oreo and the plug the drone.
No, we did recently kind of get into drone photography, but that really circles back into Hollywood because we talk about how this ties into work, and that's one of the things about being in our industry is that a lot of your regular life just kind of always seems to segue into that,
Yeah.
But what else? I love politics. Like I said before, I went to school for political science. So I love reading about politics and getting into the debate. The only problem with that is the more you get into it and the longer you're into it, the more you're like, I've heard this message. This is this many years ago. This is that kind of thing. So
cyclic.
I'm not a big sports guy. I'm into boxing and mixed martial arts. So anything UFC or boxing related.
You love Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey. That's she's an MMA fighter. That's all I'm going to say about her. And then finally, what I do to run up my time is my daughter. She is just the biggest blessing that I never knew I was going to get. I waited until my 30s to have her because I knew that 20s something Sean was in no way ready to have a kid. Yeah, right. And then I spend a lot of time with her and my wife, and we do the whole family thing.
All right. So yeah, I think we'd be a little off if we didn't tap into fitness because that's a lot of things. We all touched on that anyway for our what we do outside of Hollywood. And I guess, are those real sips or practicing? No, Gwen, these are 3 cups worth of whiskey in our system so far. So
apple juice.
Yeah, it's apple juice.
And when did it become whiskey?
Okay, here's a perfect segue. It's actually not a perfect segue. It's a very, very forced segue. So we had just discussed prior to this, when it comes to fitness, we all probably wrecked ourselves over Thanksgiving. We all, for our own personal reasons, have stuff to train for, or one of the things in Hollywood is, without getting back into the Hollywood thing, trying to drift away from Hollywood because not everybody cares that much about it, is we're not The Rock, we're not Hugh Jackman, we're not whoever it is, the hero of the week, where they're like, hey, get in shape, you have 6 months, get in shape. Whereas us, it depends, the amount of time the 3 of us are willing to dedicate is fluctuates a little bit, but basically we always want to be at the ready. Mike does a lot of photo shoots. Sean does a lot of photo shoots. I do a lot of photo shoots. Also, we have to do a lot of rolls. And the extremes we're willing to take that. It's better to always be ready versus not ready. Whereas, they're like, okay, we know we want Hugh Jackman. Give him 6 months. He'll look like Wolverine. Whereas us, it's like, can you be ready tomorrow? So it's almost better just to stay ready.
Yep.
Which I don't want to necessarily say. I guess we probably each take it to our own level of maybe healthy, unhealthy, good balance, not balanced. I would say I'd probably go to the right of unhealthy as far as socially. But so on that note, we all wrecked ourselves over Thanksgiving, one way or another. Even the fact this is even happening. Is
this is the last time you guys are ever going to see this happen. Let me tell you right now.
Substantial.
This is it.
But again, that's part of the
Starting tomorrow.
The striving.
Jeff,
for
starting
balance.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow.
So it's a very proverbial, very cliche joke of starting tomorrow. It's always on a. Is tomorrow Monday too?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Let's start on a Monday.
How many cliches is that? How many diets?
Can we do chest tomorrow?
Yeah,
I was
how
going to say,
many-
you do chest tomorrow.
Please, can we chest?
When it's
How
going
Let's
to
many
do
be.
chest,
diets?
huh?
So the running joke is how many diets and how many days always start with chest on a Monday. Basically, Mike, Sean, and I discussed for our own reasons we're all going to do this. This basically a 14-day. I don't even. Basically, it's a bodybuilding contest prep. No, John, I didn't. But basically, for whatever reasons, we're going to follow a 14-day pre-contest prep, which includes everything from the absurdity of you do a sodium load, you do a carb load, you do sodium depletion, you do water load, water depletion. It's by Jim Stepani. He's on bodybuilding.com. It's called the 14-day photo shoot prep, or 14 days to a photo shoot ready body, or whatever. So we're all going to do some sort of massive reset, so to speak. And so even though we hate cliches in the fitness industry and we mock them more just relentlessly, we are succumbing to one of them, which is, hey, we'll start tomorrow, which happens to be on a Monday, which is one of the biggest running jokes. And so in the spirit of that, that's why Jeff is drinking a drink. I spent 4 days justifying it. I don't know about you guys, but
Be sure to tune in December 31st for the same cliche that we'll say again.
I
Start
don't know.
tomorrow, man.
The last two New Year's, I've actually been the guy at the water cooler drinking water because I actually had a photo shoot. I had a photo shoot scheduled that actually went over Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Worst time ever to plan a photo shoot
absolute worst
ever. So basically, Sean, Mike, and I are going to do that. Each of us are going to do our own level of involvement. But for Jim, I'm actually going to take a picture a day. I'm realistic. I know I don't look like a 600-pound overweight, morbidly obese diabetic patient. But
You could do some more cardio.
I could, but I've actually gained some body
being
fat
honest.
compared to the photo shoot that was recently released by Furious Photography, and I'm actually going to show the reality of what 14 days can do of just morbid focus, and show what people kind of the thing I've always promised to do is the truth behind the scenes of. Like I'll pull off what I can pull off in 14 days, and I'll actually show the reality of poor lighting or good lighting, showing that hey, Jeff Bosley has no abs today. Because Thanksgiving I wrecked myself. I drank a lot of alcohol, which water retention. I didn't drink enough water. I drank tons of salt. So I'm actually going to show, holy shit, Jeff Bosley has no six pack, and I'll show that picture, and I'm going to show 14-day progressions over that. And so, but basically, I don't know where I was going with this. So Mike, Sean, and I are having alcohol and shitty food tonight.
And as my continued dedication to superficiality goes, I promise to Photoshop the absolute shit out of every picture.
Because he's in production. He can do that.
The
So
whole
that's-
truth.
yeah,
Pay
yeah.
no attention to the man behind the curtain. That's
Yeah.
kind of my motto.
So that's why, if you're in production, you can Photoshop ass.
Because we're trying to, you don't sell steak, you sell sizzle.
So, in the spirit of that, where are we going with fitness? I was trying to do a fitness segue and I lost it.
You just gave him the tip.
Yeah.
Just a fitness tip.
I think that actually leads into something that we can kind of, to even get further away from Hollywood and just talk about what everyday living and what people do all the time. Like, how does one recover from holiday binging? Because, the three of us have vested interest in getting back into shape. The guy who's going to work, in the factory tomorrow, he has no photo shoot coming up in 3 weeks. He doesn't have the same obligations that we do. So, and trust me, guys, there's no pedestal thing. We think this is hilarious that people pay us for this kind of stuff. It's like, you want me to go work out and get in shape and take a picture of me, and that's going to get me money. Okay, great. that's cool.
Yeah.
But for people that have, regular jobs and they're doing their thing, what does the post-holiday look like for them when they want to try to get their health back?
Well, I guess I think what's funny about the three, or the unique about the three of us, is we probably not even. I was mentioning our relationships, married with kids, fiance, and whatever the hell I am. But beyond even relationships, we also represent a huge. Pretty much, you name the topic, we probably represent a different part of the spectrum. I wouldn't say the extremes, possibly the extremes depending on the spectrum, but we can actually represent pretty much everybody in the population can identify with one of us.
Right.
So I think in a way we could, so for me, I'm the guy that doesn't have a kid, doesn't have a wife. I have a dog and an obsessive personality disorder. So for me, recovering from the holiday tradition
I'm sorry. Can I just tell them what I just heard in my head? Yeah. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our parents had to fall off. Sorry. Proceed. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. That's all I heard in my head. That's your voice in my head. Okay, so touche, mother trucker.
Our parents had to fall off. So that's the best thing ever. Mike's my hetero life mate.
From West Hollywood.
Yeah. Hey. Hetero. So I'll probably, admittedly, represent the extreme version of it. As soon as this podcast is done, I'm going to be going to cook a bunch of chicken, a bunch of asparagus.
Push-ups.
No push-ups. I mean, I'm going to admit, I just had more alcohol than I should have. But basically, I'm going to start tomorrow morning the Jim Stepani's 14-day photo shoot prep, which will include now, I think the first 7 days is carb loading and massive amounts of sodium intake. And I'm starting it tomorrow. And so for me, because of knowledge and experience, I know exactly what I'm doing tomorrow. So for me, coming out of Thanksgiving, it's definitely going to be a lot of cardio, smart carbs, food timing, and cleaning out the crap we just ate. Because I know I had more simple sugars.
I have a question, though.
So many croissants.
This carb load thing you speak of for the next 7 days.
Yeah.
Is it really necessary? I'm just asking. I mean, I know we want to start fresh.
No, that's a good theory
But
because I technically already did.
Yeah, I was going to say you kind
What
of
I'll probably do in the 14-day thing is subtract probably 4 days and just pick up where I quote unquote left off.
But you're going to use clean carbs, not stuffing and corn casserole.
Okay, let me put it this way: it's every morning. I'm very fortunate. The place I stayed at, so there was the
chateau.
There was the Bosley compound, the main house. Like I joke, and it honestly seems like there's going to be an ATF standoff. So if you see the
Bosleys of Waco, Texas.
If you see the pictures when I posted them today, if you piece them together, you'll realize the substantial amount of footprint this place takes up. We had a Bosley guest house, and it was a 2-bedroom house with lawn. I mean, it was better than I've lived in a long time. But every morning I woke up, and there was trust me, no offense, but there was a bowl of chocolate chip cookies and like Oreos with that were dipped in chocolate.
I'd be dead.
So every morning I was like,
sweets.
Yeah. And I was like, I need a sugar load before I go to the gym. 7 Oreos. I was just shoving it in my face. So I've had a simple sugar load of at least 7 days worth, more calories than I've had in months at one time. So I'll probably, like you said, I'm going to pick up probably where I left off. I'm pretty good on the carbs right now. So for me, the extreme, where we're getting at, is how do people recover from Thanksgiving holidays? So for the extreme person that's willing to not neglect a wife or a kid, pretty much my dog, it's going to get stupid. It's going to get a little bit masochistic.
However, though, to take that in a completely different direction, how the average person, comes out of their little Thanksgiving Day coma. Yeah. A lot of people just keep the downward spiral going all the way through the holidays
and justify it till January.
Exactly, and that's when you always hear about the average American gains up to 15 pounds in between Thanksgiving and New Year's, right? Because that's exactly what happens. Is where we at least are okay, because of our careers. After we just came off Thanksgiving, we got to jump on something else. Right. Where a lot of people just no, December's coming. And then boom, and then what happens? Then they go to the gym. And because they have either no information or misinformation, they'll just continue that down. They'll start off, okay, January 1st. We're gonna do it, man. Yeah. We're starting with chest. And they're gonna do their diet and their workout, and they joined the gym, and they ordered a case of Metrex or whatever the hell it is the kids are doing these days.
Phosphagen.
Yeah, phosphagen, there it is. And they take this stuff, and it's they go at it about 2.5, 3 weeks, and then it's game over. And then henceforth we have an epidemic of obesity and diabetes in this country because our food is evil. And it's not about a diet, and it's about a lifestyle. And unfortunately, we have the ability to look at these holidays as I'm going to splurge for this day. I'm going to splurge for a couple of days. But we know we got to jump back into it. And thank God, because I can't speak for Jeff on this one, but Sean and I are former fat kids. So I have to say husky?
Yes, husky.
Okay, husky. Sean was husky, I was fat. I'll say it. And everybody out there that knows me knows what I'm talking about. And that being said, it was a lifestyle. We didn't know what we were doing. And that's what, we now, because we have educated ourselves in the realm of training and nutrition and basically overall lifestyle change, we can, just dip into the evil carbohydrates and fat loading days and jump right back out and try to fix it, where a lot of people don't, and they continue that downward spiral until they get to the point where there's like serious health problems.
And I think that, Jeff, you actually touched on this in a video earlier today. You didn't know we were going to talk about this specific thing, but you posted a video on your page where you talked about how you felt really bad after working out, and eating like this for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I know for me, when I started my fitness journey, if you want to call it, as a kid, one of the first things I did was I just instinctively stopped drinking regular soda. So I stopped drinking, any kind of Coke or Pepsi, and I would only drink like a Diet Coke or water. And so after a couple of weeks, I was doing the treadmill and just running, trying to lose weight. And so I had one Coke after just like maybe 3 or 4 weeks of no Coke. And then I went to the treadmill, and I could not finish the time that I had built up to. And I was mad because I was running. I was like sprinting for like 45 minutes. I was just going and going and going. Like people would tell me like, "Oh my God, you're just going to kill yourself." But I was trying to lose weight. And after one Coke and all the sugar that's in there, I just couldn't do it. And that really like demonstrated for me the power of food. And I made that connection. I'm like, I had one Coke after getting all that out of my system, and it just ruined all the progress that I made. It's
absolutely.
And it's one of those things that I think most people don't get to experience. Most people don't get to experience that exactly.
Well, I think that's the one thing about diet and nutrition Mike touched on is not a plug, but it's highly applicable. Is I run a fitness group on Facebook called "Fitness is a Lifestyle, Not a Fad."
Not a
Thank
fad.
you. I just blanked. Fitness is a lifestyle, not a fad. It doesn't need to be this huge. I'm going to do the Atkins diet and then I'm good. It's just do it, and consistency and all that,
right. And
then your body. I would admit, like I remember actually I still use the exact same scale, but I remember when I first started doing the whole weigh your food crap, it was like my first year of college, and I was actually taking my scale, hidden in my backpack. I took it to around the corner, the back side of the cafeteria, and would weigh my meat, weigh all this. I was typical OCD.
He's still doing
a little
it.
OCD. Nothing's
He
changed.
still does it.
Yeah.
But the thing is once you change, just like anything, isn't there some scientific study where it takes like 7 times to remember a phone number, or like there's like some scientific
30
study
days to make it a habit.
Yeah, to make it a habit. And fitness and lifestyle and diet, nutrition, all that, like it is miserable right off the bat. And I think people want instant results. I do too. I mean, if somebody could just give me a pill and like fix the world, I'd take it.
Absolutely.
But the problem is those don't exist. And so if people could just muscle through that first month, maybe even 2 months of establishing that lifestyle, not even really weighing your food, but just changing that course of habit, then you'll realize, okay, I got this coasting process, I'm good at it, and then when you eat like shit, like I mentioned on that video, you're like, holy hell, I feel like crap.
Right.
Back to what was easy, which is ironically maybe even weighing your food or even eating clean. And so you can actually flip that transition around, where for me, I weigh my food and all that, and I've been doing it for almost like 15 years, and for the last 4 days I've eaten like shit, like horrible, and I had more sleep and felt less rested than when I've been running on 4 hours of sleep with clean food.
Yep.
So, and Mike's always on my ass about still what I eat. A lot of the guests I was with over this weekend were still on my ass about a lot of the artificial sweeteners I eat, a lot of the cancerous stuff I eat. Don't get me wrong, I agree I could eat a little cleaner. And I mean, you and I know a certain gentleman, I won't name his name, but he still preaches, like every time you see on his Instagram account how he mentions, like, I quit eating GMO, like genetically modified organisms, I quit eating gluten.
Dude, don't even get me started on gluten.
I'm not judging.
Celiac disease is the next zombie apocalypse, man.
But
They're everywhere.
But I do agree that if you can, it's financially, I can't even wrap my mind around it financially.
Even if you were Stallone, it's still a hit.
It's a
trying
fortune.
to eat every day at Whole Foods.
It's a fortune.
Yeah.
However, I would like to think that if you can eat that perfectly clean, everybody I've seen that does it, whether it's GMOs and or starch or
non-cruel,
what the hell?
dolphin safe, fair trade,
all that
gluten-free.
stuff, or organic, gluten-free, free range, whatever. Let's say you can do all of that.
Right.
Everybody swears it changed their life, which is great. I'm all for it, but I can't afford it. But until then, I do know from the last 4 days, comparatively, even though I was eating like not the best gluten-free and all that bull crap, eating sugar and starch and holy crap! Going to the gym. I was with who was. You guys can see my face trying to still be generic.
Oh, no names involved.
The company I was in.
Organism.
The company, the person that had a pulse who I was interacting with over vacation was like, how did you feel during your workout? I was like, I felt gross.
Right.
Like, I wasn't hungover. I guess I was food hungover, but I felt just,
Yeah.
Dude, you've definitely opened my vein now. Like I said, because the thing of it is you talk about those 2 months, and that is the point when people get what I like to call like a self-actualization. They can actually start to understand their own body, how it works. And when we're constantly, eating the typical American diet of processed foods and not going to the gym, it's very difficult to achieve that. When you do take the time to start going to the gym and eating clean foods, you can see how your body was meant to run. And then when you do eat all this garbage, that's like we're talking about, we notice the difference. Like, I'll never forget for me, my moment of like, holy shit, this is bad, is when I remember I ate a blooming onion. I'm not going to lie, okay? I ate a blooming onion from Outback, all right? And I remember the next day going to the gym and hopping up on a bike, and just on a bike. That's kind of pathetic, but just doing my little thing. I wasn't going to work out hard enough to get a little sweat going, and my sweat smelled like fried onion.
I've smelled like vodka for the last 96 hours.
Right. I mean, you just can smell it coming out of your pores, and it's like, wait.
Curry?
Yeah. Curry for sure, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
No.
Not
Well,
We got a little off track, but
you know what I'm saying. But when you actually, when you do work out and you do stretch, and I know I'm starting to sound a little bit like a hippie right now, but when you actually become, they talk about Bill Phillips back in the day with EAS, Mr. Colorado. They talked about the mind-body connection, and that is true. I mean, you actually can feel like, I know for me, when I eat lots of, and maybe this is the Midwest in me, when I eat lean red meat and harsh green vegetables, broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, my body just works better.
Yeah.
That could be that whole blood type diet. I know there's a big thing on that.
Yeah.
But I know that's how my body is going to function optimally. And when you do start throwing in all sorts like sugary carbs, and like I said, the part Italian of me is always craving breads and pastas and all that stuff. But when I eat it, I get tired, I get sluggish, and I feel like shit.
Yeah.
When it's green vegetables and meat, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Well, I think your body, at the end of the day, when it comes down to like the biology of the body, it's achieving homeostasis. And if you're trying to build muscle, lose fat, basically you're playing on your body's need to achieve balance. Right. So you're like, I'm going to lift heavier weights, so the body goes, I'm going to make more muscle. I'm going to eat thin, so the body's like, shit, I better burn fat for energy. Right. So you're always constantly trying to trick homeostasis, your body's homeostasis. And if you've achieved homeostasis through your diet, the minute you throw in that variable, which for me was starchy foods, chocolates, sugars, and for me, tons of alcohol. Like this weekend was debauchery at its finest. and then, I mean, to be vulgar, but it also shows that your body is rejecting it. I have spent more time on bathroom breaks, and like the road trip home was constantly revolved around a freaking truck stop bathrooms because my body's like,
going potty is not vulgar. It's part of life, okay?
Everybody poops.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, fitness tip number 3, when you're getting ready to get back in shape, eat a truckload of fiber. Yeah. Anybody out there that's got when you go through the little diet we're going through, they're getting ready to happen, fiber it up as much as you can. It hits your stomach and expands and kills your
Well, on that note, I guess because we're at an hour 36, I'll try to steer the ship a little bit. We were talking about recovering from Thanksgiving. Obviously, I mentioned the extreme. Mike touched on kind of the middle ground. And I'll segue into Sean with this. Is a lot of people need. Somebody actually touched on this, and I think the three of you would agree. And I try not to drift too much over to the comments because it's an open Pandora's box. But Gwen Coleman is a really good friend of mine. We've done fitness stuff forever, but she mentioned
that was her. If you go down, I saw Gwen.
But it was another one.
Oh,
that's cyclical ketogenic dieting. That's above and beyond what we need to talk about right now.
That is definitely advanced.
It's true, but okay.
Water.
So yeah, and I think Sean could probably touch on this. Recovery should include lots of water, vegetables, and clean foods as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So all of us, it's Sunday night. Everybody has a proverbial, well, I'll start Monday morning thing. The three of us probably are going to do some version of this, and all of you, we should highly suggest this. I even throw in a fiber supplement, like flavorless Metamucil into a shaker tonight. Get your vegetables in you. Get your body, basically, as vulgar as it sounds, get the crap in you that's going to clean you out.
Right.
Vegetables, salads, lettuce, fiber, water. You need to get that shit out of your system. And you're going to be in the toilet.
And if I may, the more you clean out your digestive tract, the easier it is for your body to absorb nutrients. Henceforth, you don't need as many calories. I mean, you keep saying the vulgar thing. Not to be vulgar, but let's just say all those little areas where digestion takes place, if there's stuff caked up on the walls, it's a little difficult for nutrients to get through and absorb through
probiotics.
probiotics like crazy.
On that.
But that being said, it's very difficult to do that. So the more you clean that out, the easier it is for your body to digest things, and you don't have to take in as many calories.
Yeah. And something I can touch on because Jeff, you mentioned the unique situation that I'm in, as far as unique with the three of us, is that I do have the family situation, and I do have 2 other people who are eating and being in the same house as me. And one of the best things about my wife is that she is in no way, shape, or form involved in the entertainment industry. That's the best thing.
That's
I'm going to give you a salute on that one as well. Same here. We love you, actresses.
I don't.
We love you, but
I don't know where I stand with the individual.
You'll make no stand right now.
Well, because
until you get married or engaged.
Being in the entertainment industry makes you, in some ways, very neurotic. It makes you very obsessed with things, and you just have certain problems, that most people don't have. And then if I had to live with someone with the same issues, I'd be like, oh my God, get over yourself.
Yeah.
But
so you're saying we're the drama queens in our relationships?
I think a little bit.
Yes, we are.
But for our situation, it's a little different because she needs to make food, or the three of us need to eat or whatnot. So. I mean, the only advice I can give for that, if you're in that same situation where maybe you're trying to watch what you eat, but your spouse is not. Not that my wife eats poorly, but just to, I have a very strict diet. And that's what I'm saying, is that the diet is never really going to change. It's not like, oh, Jeff is going to eat these foods, and that's totally different from Mike's foods, and that's totally different from my food. I mean, we're going to be eating basically the same way. But what you need is a partner who's going to understand that, and who's going to either adapt or just say, okay, look, I'm comfortable taking care of everyone else's meals, and you take care of your own meals. Because you're not going to change the formula. You're not going to be the one person who eats pizza and sausage and bratwurst and buns all day. And, that's your diet, and you're going to, that's your version of eating clean because you have a family. It's not going to happen.
If I may, I love what you said, and I do understand because, we've done nutritional work with so many people that is quite commonplace. Mm-hmm. But I will say, in my situation, I learned a little something from you when you were talking about your daughter, saying because I don't have children, nor do you.
No, I do not.
No, we do not. We have dogs. Have dogs.
Not that they claim.
We've got dogs. Yeah, right. Actually, it's funny. I just heard Howard Stern. He had Willie Nelson on, and Willie Nelson was talking about some people that had come up to him in his life, and be like, "Oh, I'm your son." And he's like, "Oh man, that's great."
I like that he accepts it. He doesn't even fight. He's like,
he didn't even fight it. That's what was the crazy part.
I probably have kids.
But you were telling me how you're not catering to her. She needs to get on your level.
Right.
It's like, you're bringing her into the world. You're going to show her what she needs to do to be, a person.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, with I was fortunate enough with Karina, when I go through this, I'm like, I'm going to be cooking like this. I'm going to make this, and this, because I do the cooking. I love to cook, as Jeff mentioned earlier. Stay tuned for more Iron Mike's Kitchen with Jeff Bosley and Sean Hampton coming soon. If you go to the YouTube channel, I don't know if it's Iron Mike Foster or Michael Foster. Anyway, I did videos with this guy.
Video,
you guys got to see it. It's great.
Seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, I do all my own editing. So Hollywood. But that being said, with Karina, I was lucky enough that she got on board. So Jeff, and I'm going to give you one of your plugs here. Was it Titan Meals?
Icon Meals.
Icon Meals.
Code Titan for 10% discount.
There you go. So Icon Meals, Jeff had all these little pre-made, meal things ready to go. So we've got all these plastic things in the house everywhere. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start pre-cooking meals. And I did. And I started giving them to Karina. And she's like, this is great. Right. So that's where some people, obviously not all, but some people can be like, look, I'm the one that does the cooking in the house.
Right.
So I'm fortunate enough where it's like, hey, it's, if I ever had kids, it would be like, oh, you don't like that? Tough.
Yeah.
You'll get hungry sooner or later.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because I got my wife into watching Breaking Bad. So we are watching, we're doing the binge watching of Breaking Bad now. So last night we're watching season 2, and I go and grab a snack. So instead of grabbing popcorn or chips or whatever, I grab this big bowl of Fiber One cereal, the original Fiber One cereal, which is a great modern day, bowl of fiber in front of you. Someone told me about that. I think his name was Mike. I don't know.
I was going to say, that sounds kind of familiar.
But, I'm eating it. And
tell them your trick, though. Tell them how you make it taste good. Because if not, they're going to be like, Sean, you're a dumbass. Why would you eat that?
I just eat it.
Well, because you're a machine.
Yeah, well, I do a boss.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I just eat it straight up. I don't make it taste good.
The flavor chef over here is going to jump in for 1 minute and tell you this much. If you do the fiber cereal, like Sean said, which is genius, if you've got late night munchies or you're hungry, do your low-calorie almond milk and get a little bit of that. And I know we talked about the artificial sweeteners, but this is the one time I'll splurge. Mm-hmm. Get your favorite sugar-free, fat-free, coffee creamer. And you only need a little bit of it. Whether, they have the pumpkin spice, hazelnut, whatever whatever it is, it will make that almond milk taste like that, so you don't have to inundate the thing with, honey or anything like that, and keep your calories low.
See,
Didn't mean
for
to jump
me,
in.
No, it's okay. It's a good tip. I just ate it straight, like as if it was chips. And my wife has this funny. Yeah, I'll tell you the story why I did that in just a second. But my wife has this running kind of gag that my daughter will eat whatever I'm eating, and she does. I always share food with her. Well, I call it share. I think she calls it I'm going to take his food. I don't care what he says, because she just walks up and just starts taking it. So I'll eat spinach raw, just out of the bowl. I'll eat the fiber. And I told my wife, I said, if you think about it, if this was a bowl of Cheetos or chips, or if this was a Coke or whatever, she would be eating and drinking that.
Yeah.
But my daughter loves water, and she loves, like I said, fresh vegetables.
Tell them about what happened up there. The protein shake.
Oh yeah, after a hike, my daughter was here at the house, and we come back in, and Mike makes a great protein shake.
AI Sports Nutrition.
Yeah, AI Sports Nutrition, best protein shake ever. And my daughter wants that, because I'm eating it, so she's like, oh, I want that. So she's just eating all these foods, and it's like I'm teaching her to eat healthy, and it's not because I'm really thinking about it, I'm just doing it. And that's, to me, something that more people need to think about. Your kids are just emulating
the same way.
Well, and I was going to say, a lot of this, I'm reading comments and listening to you talk. A lot of this doesn't have to be as intimidating as it sounds. Yes, I whip out a scale and weigh all of my meals. That is just how I function. There are people way more ripped than me, way less body fat than me that do not weigh their foods. So be it. It's tomato. However, it doesn't need to be that way. There's a woman here that just said, I lost 100 pounds by using the size of my hand with the amount of food I ate, and I cut carbs and sugars. So she literally, that's an old-fashioned thing. I think Bill Phillips touched on it.
Yeah, size of your palm.
On his follow-up.
How much chicken should I eat? Size of your palm.
So it was portion control, and it was the lifestyle change of the portion control. You don't need this. This doesn't have to be as it's ironic. As much as I try to help people, I'm probably the most intimidating version of dietary assistance possible. I'm the guy that you'll see whip out a scale, and most people are like, whoa, that's too much. It doesn't actually have to be that way. I'm just too obsessive compulsive to do the portion control with my palm of my fist.
I don't know if this is too soon, but let's keep it real. And I'm going to say this because for all of you that know what's going on, if he is convicted, which I think he is convicted, I feel good saying this, that tub of shit Jared from Subway. And I say that because of what he did. Is he convicted?
He is convicted.
Good. Then I feel good about saying that about him. Anybody that would take advantage of a child. But point being is that here's a guy that was like 600 pounds, and all they did was, everybody's like, well, eat Subway. That's good for you. But when you go from eating 2 pounds of bacon a day and burgers and fries and all this stuff to weigh 600 pounds, like here's 3 6-inch Subway sandwiches a day, of course you're going to lose weight. Exactly. So that being said, and whatever your body type is out there, it's all about, like Jeff said, it is portion control.
I say that anyone who's interested in losing weight or changing your body, here's the first step you should take, and it's not intimidating at all. Go to your app store on, Android or iPhone or whatever. Download an app called MyFitnessPal. We don't get sponsored by them. I get no money for this, but I just use the product, so I know it's good. It's a food tracker. And track what foods you eat. Everything you eat. Don't change how you eat, but just everything you eat, log it into this little app for 7 days. At the end of 7 days, you'll look back and see what you've been eating. And it'll be very obvious to you why you are gaining or not losing weight. Because once you track your food, you start to see what's happening. And you start to see why you're going through whatever.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing about personal trainers. I'm not knocking them. I have a couple of good friends that are personal trainers myself. You can go to the gym and lift heavy things and ride bikes forever, and if your diet is shit, none of that's going to matter. I don't even know the statistic or if it's just something that's been beaten to death with a wives' tale, but I've heard it. 80% of results is in the kitchen. So you can do all that crap at the gym. I know a guy that had a massive bedridden surgery, and all he did was diet and use resistance bands, and that got him ripped. It was all diet. So at the end of the day, it's just diet. So it's that portion control, and it's changing that lifestyle. And any good trainer worth their salt, and I think ironically, trainers need to keep clients to keep the paycheck coming in. Right. But ironically, if a trainer's good, they'll work themselves out of business. So if they're actually doing a good job, they'll train their clients out of not needing to come back. Any good trainer will say what Sean just said is, look here, track your diet for a week, and holy shit, it's revealing.
Yep, it's very obvious after you do that.
I would. This sounds a little arrogant, but I would venture to say what we did in the last 4 days for Thanksgiving holiday, sadly, represents what Joe Blow public eats daily.
Absolutely.
And when you see that, like I could even say the amount of Oreos I ate, the amount of alcohol I drank, the amount of potatoes I ate, the amount of croissants I ate, the amount of sugar I ate, the amount of pancakes, syrup, chocolate. Did I say chocolate? Did I say Oreos?
You said croissants too.
Okay.
You seem to have a thing with croissants, huh?
You should have seen the amount of crap I ate this week.
And see, I think it's funny because you instinctively do that. Like, whenever I had food, I would either count how many whatever I had, or I would take a cup and I'd be like, okay, well, this is 1 cup of pure chocolate or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I was going to eat it. It didn't matter, but I still in my head needed to measure. I still needed to be like, well, I need to know how much of this I'm eating.
Yeah. Well, ironically for me, it was ignorance was bliss. I was like, I'm going to brainwash myself because I crushed some food. I was like, turn Jeff off, consume Oreos. Like, it was disgusting. The amount
Glucose disposal agents and prey, boys.
Yeah, there was some disposal, but it had nothing to do with glucose.
The question is, if we're going to do the 14-day prep,
Yeah.
does this lead up to an epic cheat meal?
No, because, perfect segue, actually. So anybody that does any sort of, this is a little selective in that, like models or fitness athletes or bodybuilders or actors even, or whatever, or anybody that just wants to kind of clean their system that is not doing some stupid lemon, cayenne, diet, pepper diet.
Wait a minute. Are you
cleanse.
knocking
No,
my
that's
fat
the-
burner?
No, but you know what I'm talking about.
The maple cleanse, the lemon cleanse, yeah. All right.
Cleanses are bullcrap, in my opinion. However, but
Camino's done right.
the reason I'm doing it is because I trained for that Furious photography shoot, and I did the whole epic like cheat meal, like rock worthy. And Michael will attest to it.
Holy my God.
It was epic. It was
Well, actually, it came right after Karina decided to have the little neighborhood gathering. So she
Yes.
went to, for those of you from LA, you guys will appreciate this, she went to Porto's. Porto's Bakery. So she had these like croissants filled with potato balls and guava and all this crazy stuff.
Calorie bomb.
Jeff, I honest to God think you ate at least half a dozen potato balls, which each one has got to be at least 700 calories. At least. Those croissants, remember the guava ones?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there had to be at least anywhere between half a dozen and a dozen. You might have thrown a protein shake along with the whole situation, maybe, but there was so many pastries and so much fried stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, you ate it all.
Yeah, and so-
I've never seen anything like it.
yeah. Porto's is the devil.
So you see what I'm talking about? This guy, one day would have like fed a small elementary school.
Well, and here's the thing, and I think any of us, the best thing about bodybuilding or fitness is if they're the extreme example, it shows what can actually happen to you in like a day in the life of a normal person example. So I did that. I trained down to retard. I mean, obviously the photo shoot. But somebody just chimed in and said, "Good pictures, by the way." Yeah, they're a little not photoshopped in that they're fake, but they add cool lighting and cool shadows.
yeah.
The colors are cool. But I posted pictures the night before where I just got my spray tan, where I had like -% body fat. I had 0 water under my skin. The picture, blah blah blah. However, the problem is, and this is what a lot of people do on their diets. Ironically, I had the cheat meal that Mike was talking about. My body said, "Thank Christ, let's suck all of this in. Sodium, shitty sugars, all this stuff." I had ankles like a pregnant woman. I still do. I still do to this day. I'm still like, what was that, a month ago?
I know, I was like, elevate him, Jeff.
Yeah, like a month ago, and I still have...
Take your ibuprofen.
I still have puffy pregnant lady ankles because
You have cankles.
I have cankles.
You have cankles.
Because I depleted myself so much, and then I went to that cheat meal like you see, and I'm not knocking The Rock or anybody that can do it for whatever reason. They figured out their nutrition, and it works for them. But I did the cheat meal that was like godlike, and as a result, my body said, "Thank Christ, let's suck all this in," and it backfired. So the reason we're all doing this, at least me, I'm doing this 14-day thing, is to bring myself to, I'm going to normalize myself. I have realized that whether it's the fitness world or just Joe Blow guy just trying to be healthy, I am a guy that at my age, my metabolism, whatever it may be, I can't do cheat meals anymore. I can't do 6 days of perfection or 6 3/4 days perfection, 25%. Shit. It did not work. It backfired. It doesn't work for me. It might work for The Rock. It might work for Joe Blow so-and-so, but I don't know how we got on that side.
Well, something to point out with that, being having the production background.
Yeah.
When you see this is for everybody, and you know this better than anybody. When you see The Rock and he has the epic cheat meal photo, or he's got the 15-second Instagram video for whatever, that's a photo. You know, the Rock is sitting behind a stack of pancakes, and he took a picture and he said, "Hey, epic cheat meal." And don't get me wrong, I love The Rock, and I think he's an inspiration not only in our profession but in the business world as well, because he has a great setup in every way. But that's a picture.
Yeah,
you know, when you see him
actually
standing in front of 20
genius
pizzas.
point.
Yeah, he's standing in front of 20 pizzas. He's standing there. He took a picture, and he might have eaten a slice, or he might have walked out. You notice you don't see a video of him pounding down
Eating
all this
all
food.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah, you just see a picture.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful, those pictures and those images, and they stick with us. Oh, The Rock ate 20 pizzas. No, he didn't. He took a picture in front of 20 pizzas. Unless I saw him do it, he didn't do it.
And that's actually a good point. Now, this is not a plug. I love her. I would kill to work out with her, but like I social media introduced Mike to her, Paula Nordine. She'll post pictures.
Okay.
She'll. I would actually say maybe 48 hours ago, she posted a picture of herself, like just a selfie, where she like took a breath, blew it out, flexed. The lighting was perfect, and then she did another selfie picture and like split the screen where she was relaxed. The lighting was crappy. Exact same body. One looked like a Photoshop goddess, and the other one looked like, I don't know, crap. And so that's the thing is with I don't know, this world is it's extremely deceiving. And I would say there's extremes of deception, and there's just extremes of slightly not accurate. You know, like even right now, I could go down to my bathroom, take a selfie, and make my abs look great just because of lighting and this and that. When in reality, they're not that great. 300, the lighting, they had makeup, they had Photoshop effects, and all that stuff.
They had CrossFit.
They do.
They had CrossFit.
No, it was Jim Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a random side effect. Let me see if there's anything else here that we want to go on the fitness world. But
Yeah, does anybody have any questions over there in Mike and Seanville? Anybody? We'd be more than happy
some
to say
people had
hello.
some good stuff. Nikes. What time is better? I don't want to get too crazy. Gwen has diabetes patients.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nobody's got anything to say? Anybody?
Gwen
We'll
has
answer
diabetes
it.
We are not taking our shirts off. Damn.
We're not?
I'm gonna,
What did I sign up for? I thought this was a shirtless shoot. We're not doing it? No?
Sorry, West Hollywood. No.
As long as
Mates.
the video is linked to our PayPal accounts, we'll pretty much do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. So
So good ahead of us. We talked
I
about
guess
side jobs.
that's fitness in Hollywood. God, I want to talk about some juicy stuff. I can't think of it.
Oh, can I say one?
Yeah.
Here's something, and I sent this to you. I don't know if you saw it. I figured you saw it. Has anybody seen the new Captain America Civil War trailer?
I saw that, actually.
Dude, how awesome did that look?
I can't wait.
I am stoked.
You got what does he say? So he says something like, I hope you understand it's because of my friend. He's like,
I was your friend too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I saw that. I was like,
I know. That was great.
can someone get
The two things I remember. Do you remember the Falcon's kick when he did that spin
Yeah.
around too? That looked cool.
I kept. Who's the character? Black Cat or Black Panther?
Black Panther, he was revealed. But the other one that got me too is when Bucky was up on Iron Man going like this, trying to rip that thing out, rip the arc reactor out of his chest. I was like,
the end when the two
when they're
of them
fighting back and forth.
put around the shield. Even now, I just got the shield. I was like,
I know.
yeah. So who? I read a comment where they're running a thing on in the comics. They actually had two storylines where it was very objective. You saw Captain America's point of view and you saw Iron Man's point of view, and it didn't look like there was a good guy, bad guy. But since this is a Captain America movie, technically, everybody outside of Captain America looks like a bad guy, including Iron Man. Because
except Falcon.
Well, yeah, but because it's a Captain America movie, anybody that's Captain America ally looks like good guy.
Yeah.
Anybody that's not, bad guy. So this movie actually makes Iron Man look like a bad guy.
Okay, so who are going to be the teams? So you got Captain America's obviously. Let's put the obvious ones: the Falcon,
Right.
and Bucky.
Right.
Okay.
And Chica, redhead.
No, I don't know.
I
She
think
said she
she's-
wanted to.
she's-
He said,
yeah,
"You're going to arrest
I
me."
don't know.
She's Team Captain America.
But remember, she said, "You're going to arrest me."
Yeah, but I bet she's Team Captain America. They had a love interest.
Right.
No, she's into Bruce.
But that's more drama.
Yeah. that's
After
Bruce.
Avengers 2, she's into Bruce
But,
Banner.
Yeah, I still think she's with Team
Well,
Captain
War
America.
Machine and Iron Man have a love interest. So you know that Rhodey and Iron Man are coming together on that side.
There's the video of him holding Rhodey. Like, he's like in the mask and he's like knocked out on the ground and he's like sitting there holding his head.
Yep. So who else is going to have with
Apparently,
him?
Ant-Man was in the trailer. I haven't gone
Really? I
frame by
didn't see
frame,
that, yeah.
but because he's fucking Ant-Man.
But is he going to side with Stark because of the whole technology thing? Does anybody have an opinion on this? Anybody?
Any
Anyone?
new pictures been
Anyone?
made?
Hi, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Sean,
Hi, Bonnie.
Sean, you can play Falcon.
I can play Falcon, yes.
Yes, you could.
Anthony Mackie has had his day. Okay, I need to play Falcon. I do agree with that fully.
Are they trying to say that every black guy looks like Falcon?
I don't care if they look like Falcon. As long as I get paid like Anthony Mackie, I will play whatever.
What do you think he's pulling down?
Oh, it's sick. I mean, he's Falcon.
Well, yeah.
You know, I'm saying
This is our nerd
No,
segment.
yeah,
We're
it's kinda
Hollywood fitness nerds. That's
Right.
our, that's our, that's
All
our
right, we're
template.
nerding out.
Well, when I say Anthony Mackie is Falcon, I mean like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
He established that
Yeah,
character.
you're not going to have some other guy coming in and playing Iron Man. Now,
No.
for example, Terrence Howard messed up because he was Rhodey in that first one.
Yep.
And then he did, whatever happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And now it's Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
And Don Cheadle is Rhodey.
But yeah, it's not like James Bond where we are willing to see a new face
Right.
with that character.
Exactly.
Iron Man will never be replaced.
And like Spider-Man.
Batman for some reason gets replaced, and we
Spider-Man
accept it.
gets replaced
Spider-Man
all the
that's just
time.
a constant rebuild.
Yeah.
But yeah, like let's
Fantastic
see.
Four, Reed Richards, and all those guys. That's
They need
all
to just
rebooted.
burn Fantastic Four and
Fantastic
call
Four-
it quits.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four is like, they're great sidekick stories. They're just not,
They should be support to the X-Men or support
Right,
to the
Because
exactly.
when you start breaking up characters like that, you have 4 different guys now. It's not going to work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So
You
why
know?
is this will get us off going? So why is Batman fighting Superman over a chick?
Well,
If
now,
you
not
follow
over
the
a chick.
comics,
It's not over a
if you
chick.
follow the comics, Wonder Woman is a chick fight, is a debate or a fight over.
So
a chick.
Lois Lane has not got Superman's full attention. It sure looks like it
Yeah,
in the
you-
trailers.
My fantasy. Have you seen the picture of Batman with Wonder Woman? It's my favorite picture on the
well,
planet.
now there.
Oh, she turns on and looks at him at the party.
No, I'll find it.
Oh,
Go to YouTube. Not you, Jeff, but whoever said that. Go to YouTube and just type in the Justice League trailer or Justice League trailer explained, something like that. There are some really, really good theories about what's actually happening in the trailer.
Yeah.
Of that movie. And I know someone who works on that movie, so I kind of know which ones are going in the right direction. So that's what I'm saying.
TP.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So you should, definitely
Okay.
go on YouTube, look at some videos that explain different theories on what's actually happening in that trailer.
You really
and
are.
One of them is on the right track for sure, but it's not what you think.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Well, okay. So between the three of us, this will be nerd section. I kind of like this template. We look cool when we talk Hollywood. We look even cooler when we talk fitness.
And now-
then we
And
nerd
now,
out and crash to the ground.
Any Star Trek fans out there?
Yeah,
you want to see me
we
crash and burn,
discredited all of
that's-
ourselves.
So Rich had you. Hello.
Yo, add hello.
Team Batman or Team Superman or Team
Superman all day.
Batman? Mike, this picture, that is my favorite picture ever.
It's a nice picture. I've never seen that.
Yeah. So anybody that knows me, I'm just looking for my Wonder Woman.
And see, I carry the Man of Steel on
Single
my
tier.
t-shirt. I carry it right there. So you guys can see, I carry Superman.
I can go downstairs now and I've got a Batman shirt and I've got a Superman shirt, and I think I'm going to have to go ahead and say that
ain't
I'm choosing Asgard.
I was gonna say,
I choose Asgard.
We already know, right?
Can't do that. Yeah, but you're not Team Batman or Superman, or not sure.
Honestly,
Well,
in the DC universe,
DC
I'm team Superman.
Okay.
I am. I
But wait, okay. Now let me ask you this: ultimate nerdist. Have you guys seen the actual? Probably seen, or at least seen the actual what Batman versus Superman is based on.
is it Apocalypse?
The one you and I Googled.
Oh,
we
yeah,
saw
yeah.
the trailer.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. But there's an actual comic where Batman comes out of retirement,
Yes.
gets a fancy suit, crushes Superman. Have you seen that?
I have.
on
I've seen
Netflix?
that and the
What's
actual
it?
animated.
Refresh my memory. What is it called on Netflix? It's Batman.
I don't
Isn't
think
it
it's
Apocalypse
on
or
Netflix. I don't think it's on because I had to look at it on YouTube.
you did show me that? Were they,
Yeah,
were they,
Mike and I saw the trailer.
yeah.
But it's. I've read the comic and I've seen the video.
Not Superman beat or the remember superhero beatdown. You showed me that
Yeah.
one. That was great.
What was it called? It wasn't Apocalypse.
But it was like that, like Apocalypse or
But it wasn't Batman Returns. It was one of those stupid.
I forgot what it was called. And I've heard it like 10. Like every
Can
time I want to
anybody
watch
help
it.
us?
Yeah, every time I want to watch it, I always have to ask someone. What was it called again?
Yep. But it was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, anybody that's watching Batman versus Superman, obviously Zack Snyder took a script, they adapted it, they compressed all these random side plots basically into one movie. So that's why you'll see Aquaman, you're going to see a little bit of Wonder Woman.
Well,
but at the end of the day, the Netflix thing that I'm trying to find right now is what it's based on. It's actually based on a comic book, and it's called. It shows Batman coming out of retirement, thus the old old Ben Affleck character, and saying Superman is too powerful, I gotta crush him, he gets a fancy suit. And anybody that nerds out, and that's why I think Zack Snyder is gonna crush this, is he actually stayed so true to the comic. Like, you'll look at it, and even trivial things like the cowl, the bat ears are smaller.
Yeah.
And that is exactly how it was drawn in the comic, and it's exactly how it was drawn on the net or the TV, the animated comic. Like, they nailed it, and that's why all the nerds are going to come out like in force.
And it's going to be dark. It's not going to be campy.
Right. Thank God.
Right?
Yeah.
What was his name? Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher.
Schumacher. Oh my God, that was horrible.
Well, see, something that gets me upset, though, just as a diehard Superman fan, there's a lot of hatred for Superman just from the comics. Like, a lot of people have always hated him. I remember when they did the Doomsday story in Superman. I saw interviews. No, I was a kid. I saw interviews with guys from DC, and they're like, "Yeah, we were all kind of happy about this storyline because Superman's kind of the pretty boy of the franchise, and we just always hated him. So this is kind of a breath of fresh air for us." And it's like, what? How do you work on this and you hate the character that you work on? Right? So, I don't know. I felt Man of Steel got a bum rap because people just kind of have a hatred. And I get it. Superman's really not unrealistic because it's comic book, but he's just not a fun character. He doesn't have a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
Batman is a lot more fun because he's a person.
So they showed the flaws in Man of Steel. He's
I
growing
thought
up.
that's why I loved Zack Snyder's interpretation. Superman has a lot of issues, and
Sure.
no one's ever shown them before.
Because it's my podcast, I'm going to segue.
Uh-oh.
Well, we can come back, but whoever just wrote the me dressed up like Batman and so dressed like Wonder Woman, I agree. And if she's listening, she needs to dress up like that. You read that right there?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Let's
do it.
Laura or whoever would have said that.
it's fine.
Okay,
No,
I can
Laura-
say Laura.
we can say
Laura.
Laura.
I agree.
Well, everybody can see that.
And Laura, whoever... God damn it. Yeah, what she said. Anyway, back to that. Sorry. I'm trying to remember the name of the thing on Netflix.
Batman vs Superman. Yeah.
But we're trying to find it, though.
Oh,
Who was the voice of Batman? Wasn't it Peter Weller?
I thought it was
He does a
Mark
lot of
Hamill.
them, yeah.
Or not Mark.
No,
Yeah, Mark
he's
Hamill.
a Joker.
Oh, he's a Joker. That's right.
What the hell was the thing on Netflix? I've watched it constantly. It was a Dark Knight... the movie, it was Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the Dark Knight.
So what's the Dark Knight Returns?
I do remember. It was the Dark Knight something.
I think it was the Dark Knight Returns.
Well, as long as we're waiting, who's your favorite Batman voice?
You mean in the animated series?
No, I'm in the movies. Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Val Kilmer.
Not Christian Bale.
George
Christian
Clooney?
Bale in the first one, yes. But towards the end, it was like, it was like, whoa, dude, you have throat cancer.
This city just showed you
Yeah.
that it has the capacity to be
That, exactly. That's why I got sick of it. And then it sounded exactly like him in Terminator. Where are they? The Dark Knight Returns. So yeah, anybody go to Netflix. It's only on DVD, so if it's on Hulu or wherever. The Dark Knight Returns. There's a part 1 and a part 2. Watch that before you see Batman versus Superman, and you'll actually see the animated adaptation of the comic that the movie and the animated adaptation is based on, and you'll actually see where all of this came from. So you'll actually see the comic. You'll see him coming out of retirement, the old guy. He's broken, even as trivial as I said, as the ears on his cowl. So watch that.
It's funny you guys brought up Christian Bale and his voice. I read an article talking just about that, and it's Christian Bale apparently, did some personal research and he talked to his family and this and that, and like he came up with this idea that this guy would do this kind of guttural voice. Like, he just had this conscious decision that he made that we're gonna do. He's gonna change his voice, and after reading it, I was like, all right, this, like, seeing the actor process behind it made it make more sense to me.
Yeah. Well, and I see why he did it.
Yeah.
Difference between like Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, but still, when it's
dude,
like,
it was a little. It was a little. Geez.
There's a great video someone made on YouTube where it's like a parody of that interview scene with the Joker. And he's like, "Why do you want to kill me?" And the Joker's like, "What?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying."
Did you see the one where they were trying to they were actually doing a Batman casting, or I'll butcher it, but it's something like, they're like, no, try it a different way, and the actor is acting like Bruce or Batman, and he tries all these things, and it's British and it's Cockney, it's absurd, and at the end his voice is so raw and he's like, that's the one. He's like, but I've lost my voice, and he's like, that's the one, do that.
That's
So,
funny.
but have you guys seen Bat Dad?
I have, yeah.
Have you seen Bad Dad?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
What am I missing out on here?
my
Who's
God.
Bad Dad?
Somebody chimed in on that, but he has his own page. No, I know who Bad Dad
Oh,
is.
no. It's,
He has
it's a social
shitty-
media thing.
Yeah, he's a shitty plastic bat. Yeah. And he makes fun of his wife. He's like, "Why are you eating carbs?" And she's like, "It's a post-workout sugar beer." He's like, "You just went to the gym," and he throws the Pop-Tart at her. And
Doesn't he do like selfie style sometimes?
yeah,
whoever's
exactly.
behind him?
That's
Oh,
exactly
okay. I
what
have
it is.
seen that.
It's
yeah.
always selfie style. So that was our nerding out. Okay, Momoa is Aquaman. That's my segue. Did you watch Game of Thrones? Either of you?
Yeah.
I Dude at the Gym gave me like all the season 1, season 2. It is like a bad beer.
No.
You have to keep drinking it and get acclimated.
No.
I watched season 1 on principle. Season 2 I muscled through and I couldn't keep watching it. And he
Too many
finally
characters?
said,
What was the deal?
and I was like, so?
Wow.
So?
He needs to wait for
But
it.
by season 2, the guy that gave me the DVDs, he's like, give it back to me. You're not watching it fast enough. I was like, fine, keep it.
Wow.
Like I could not, and I loved Rome. I loved all those
Troy.
genres.
All that,
Troy.
yeah.
I loved like Rome, Spartacus. Like I love those kind of that genre, that timeline, that era. But God, Game of Thrones. Fuck.
You know, it's funny because I had the opposite experience. For me, I don't really like medieval type things, knights and kings and queens, all that kind of stuff. Normally, I don't like that. And so I watched the pilot for Game of Thrones, and I said, all right, well, I see why people are into this, but I'm not really that into it. That was like right before it ended. And then the last 5 minutes of the pilot came on, and I saw it, and I was like,
But when a dude and his sister are getting a hand,
Yeah.
and then they push the little kid out the window?
Yeah, and
Wait,
I was-
spoiler alert.
well,
Oh.
come on, yeah. How
Sorry.
many years
Yeah,
is it now?
you know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
if you don't know
never
by
seen it
now,
come on.
tough.
So anyway, but I saw the last 5 minutes of the pilot, and I was like, all right, I got to see the next episode just to see what happens. And next thing I know, I was just like really into it. So for me, Game of Thrones is brilliant because I normally do not like that genre at all. And the fact that I was into it, hating the genre, I'm like, okay, there's something to this.
Yeah. I think it's awesome, and I am very, very. You know, you've got your. I know you're all upset about John Bernthal getting cast as a Punisher. I'm sorry, but that half Thor or whatever he was, the Mountain. I would have loved to have been the Mountain. Squash like
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? The big strongman guy.
Prior to giving the DVDs back, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just pat us on the back.
Wouldn't that have been fun?
Good friend of mine, Gwen from Idaho. This is a nice little compliment to all three of us. This conversation is entirely proof to all women that, yeah, dudes could just hang out for hours, talk about anything and everything all at once. Nothing shady.
Can I answer that one real quick?
14-7? God damn it.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
All right, so before I became an actor, I did a little cheesy reality TV. I did this when I was actually teaching.
A little reality TV.
A little reality.
Yeah.
You probably never heard of it.
What's the name of the show?
I was on The Bachelorette, okay, and I for all the right reasons. But that being said,
I was looking for love.
Yeah, I say I'm here for the right reasons. But I will say this: the funny part was your friend's name Gwen?
Gwen, yeah.
Yeah, Gwen, I will tell you this, and I mean this I love women, this is all due respect to women, but if you put 25 guys in a room after one girl, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Who wants some more apple juice? This is great. I'm having a blast. Dude, you rock. And you rock. Now put 25 girls in one room after one guy.
Try to kill each other. I don't know.
So, yeah, we can get along.
I think
We're
it depends
dudes.
I think it depends on the city and the people.
Well, at least on The Bachelorette, everyone I've ever seen, they kept getting mad at us because the guys were like, you guys are just like having way too much. This is like, they kept saying, this is the homosexual Bachelorette. You guys all love each other.
Yeah.
Start drinking.
I was going to say, yeah, I was talking to, God, I can't keep, it's so hard to keep vague.
Just say it, man. Just let it go.
No, I was talking to acquaintances over Thanksgiving, and for me, it was the exact opposite. Every time we went to a bar with a group of friends, it always turned into a huge brawl, like hangover, epic brawl, like wake up.
But that's if there's multiple girls. I'm talking one girl and
Okay.
you're on a I mean, dudes just are
Okay.
kind of like, all right, this is, all right, we're cool.
Gwen
Yeah.
said she loved the insight, so there you go. No care, men are not as catty as women, but they do adhere to the what I was just touching on.
It bars.
This is
I agree with Jeff.
Yeah, like they do adhere to the kill the biggest man in prison syndrome. Like every time I went to a bar, it was bunch of little mini Navy SEALs and me, and I always got my ass kicked because
Oh yeah, you got beat up.
yeah, because people just gang up on me
Yeah.
because I walked in the room. I actually had
Who the
multiple
hell were
times.
you hanging out? Ninja bars? Who beat your ass? You're
Well,
a Green
no,
Beret,
the
for
thing is,
Christ's
they'd
sakes.
walk in, they're like, let's hit that guy. And there was actually multiple
okay.
occurrences where I had little midget friends, like little guys, like rodeo friends that always picked fights that they couldn't back up. And they'd be picking the fight, poking the bear. And I'd be, my back would be turned, and then finally the guy would go to swing, and like basically the little midget guy would dip away and like, hey Jeff! I was like, what? Chink. It's like, I didn't even get part of this. And then next thing you know, I wake up on a beach with broken ribs, a chick like unconscious, a dude over here with his shirt missing and a bloody face, my knuckles are broken.
Happened to us all the time.
No, when the Hangover
What
came
country
out,
were you in?
Yeah, no, it was
exactly.
Tampa, Florida. When the Hangover came out, like obviously there was not a tiger involved and a chicken wandering around, but when the Hangover, the opening scene, of Hangover, when it came out, I was like,
Yep.
been there. So let's see if
Yours
there's
was at
anything
a fraternity house.
Yes.
Let's see if we can take this ship anywhere. They didn't want Jeff to take the chicks.
Is anything going on there? Who said something? Oh, Laura said something. What did she say?
Hey, Peyton. A good friend of mine from the gym. Who knows? Who knew you had attractive friends, Jeff? Hell, who knew you had friends?
Thank
period?
you.
Thank you, Peyton.
Hell, who knew you had friends? Period.
Right?
Thank you, Peyton.
Yeah.
They're the ones he hasn't killed yet. So.
Yeah. No, she. No, I don't want to get into it online. What else can we talk about? It's 2 hours.
Hang on.
I feel bad.
Civil. Oh, come on. We got to go one more. And I know you're not big on this, but Star Wars.
Star Wars. I knew you were going to say it. Star Wars.
Well, it must be addressed.
Hey, Peyton. What in general?
Well, my thing is this. I mean, I'm assuming everybody out there has seen the trailers.
Yeah.
Has everyone seen the international trailers?
Yes.
Remember? I know you have.
What differentiates it?
The fact that Kylo Ren walks up behind Rey, the new lead, the girl.
Kylo Ren, the black dude.
Why has he got to be a black dude? just because he sounds scary.
Identifier.
That does sound
The
like a
black
name.
stormtrooper.
Right?
That is kind of an ethnic name, though. Kylo Ren. I mean,
Yeah, it's like Shaniqua. Come on.
yeah, it's a little identifying. You know?
No, but
Kylo Ren comes up behind her, and he's got the whole light. You remember when Mace Windu?
yeah.
Another black guy with a lightsaber. What?
Purple lightsaber.
Purple lightsaber.
Just gonna put that
Purple.
up.
Put it up to Jango Fett's throat. He puts it up. No, in the new one, he puts it up to her throat. He did.
It is purple.
There's purple, and there's speculation behind that because
like,
when
cook
red
me
and
some
blue
chicken.
come together, because remember the reason he's so good, he's part Jedi,
Oh my
part Sith.
god.
It's a great.
Okay, I'm nerding out a little bit.
It's a great
That's
explanation to give the black guy.
But anyways,
No, Sam. It's because you see with the red and
but truth be told, Sam Jackson went to George Lucas and said, "Let me get a purple lightsaber."
motherfucker.
Get these snakes off my motherfucking plane.
When you absolutely got to slice every motherfucker in the room except no substitute. No, but Kylo Ren's holding the lightsaber up to her neck, and it looks kind of cool. And that's on the new foreign footage of the trailer.
Peyton, wait, Kylo is Han's son? Is that a theory?
Unless he had twins, and one is the girl, and one is Kylo Ren. Just throwing it out there.
Es posible.
Es posible. Sí, yo sé.
Je propose.
Well, Jeff's theory over here is that Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son.
No, that's Peyton's theory.
Well, that's Peyton's theory. But why is your theory, Peyton? What
Peyton.
grounds do you have? Talk to the lawyer.
Explain
about it.
yourself.
What grounds do you have? Sean, listen to her case.
That's true from the book writings. Oh, shit.
Oh, well, sorry. We didn't go to the book. All right. Yeah, we're going just to feature films.
Readings for
We're
nerds.
actors. We don't read other than our own lines.
It's not in script format. We
Reading
don't
is
really
for
know.
losers.
Right. Hello.
Peyton, I love you.
Reading. Why are we gonna need that?
So wait, here's my theory with the new movie though. Is as much as I remember explicitly it was I think it was Empire Strikes Back. I remember going to the theater and actually I had a blaster, a Han Solo blaster, and it was actually in the theater shooting between the things when they showed the Emperor.
1980.
Yeah, so I was only like I was basically a zygote. So I'm jacked, and I've always been Han Solo is way better. I bet he's in it for 10 seconds.
Totally.
Yeah.
He's going to be, every scene that we saw will be him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Han Solo or Harrison Ford's in it for like a nanosecond.
Well, he busted his leg on the whole operation, so he's probably
He
only...
blew a hip probably getting out of his car.
Right?
He's 80 years old.
See, for me, my experience with Star Wars has always been a little like lacking because I was always a fan of the Empire. I loved Darth Vader. Darth Vader was always my favorite character, and I hated the Rebels, and I just wanted the Empire to win.
Nobody liked the Emperor.
Oh, I absolutely loved all of that stuff.
Is it a black thing?
It's kind of a black thing. But no, I just always loved that.
And that is why Darth is throwing up his angry black fist.
Fight the power.
You will listen to the Ebony and Ivory
Well, ironically,
Reverse
it was a
Oreo Sandwich Podcast.
Ironically, it was a black dude's voice. So riddle me this: when you see on the trailer the scarred face and there's the voiceover, do you think there's one of the theories online is that Luke actually went dark side, lost his mind and went dark side?
Oh, when he does the whole puts his hand on R2D2, you know that's his hand because it's metal.
But at the same time, maybe did he lose his mind and go dark side to avenge his father?
Yeah, but that would totally just destroy everything that George Lucas did in the first 3 films.
Yeah.
Because that whole actually, I'm sorry, the first 6 films. Because it was all about Darth Vader bringing, the son bringing the father back to the light. If we want to get Carl Jung here and talk about archetypes, I mean that was the
Carl Jung.
And I don't think that would play well with the fans.
Yeah.
And I read an interview with George Lucas recently that he was not involved in this project, not just because they bought it from him, but because he wanted to go a different direction than the studio. And in his words, the studio wanted to make a film that was geared more towards fans. And he wanted to make the film that he saw in his mind.
Yeah.
And so I don't think...
he also saw episode 1, 2, and 3 in his mind, too.
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying is
Jar Jar Binks.
As George Lucas put it, Star Wars is a soap opera that just happens to take place in space.
Yeah,
and
I've
so
heard that a lot.
I think if you're making a movie geared towards fans, you're not going to make Luke Skywalker, who's been the pretty boy of the entire franchise,
the bad guy,
all of a sudden be the bad guy.
But that is a little soap opera if you think about it. Oh no, he's the twin.
And here we go again.
And round we go.
Yep. Yeah. Or it could have been J.J. Abrams' way of saying, George, thank you for making these beloved characters in episodes 4, 5, and 6. However, after the 90s, you suck, and I'm going to be taking it from here.
Right, here's where we go.
The last great thing George Lucas did, in my humble opinion, is Indiana Jones' The Last Crusade. Sorry.
Oh, listen to this theory.
Gertie, are you
So why not join them when the Emperor told him in the first place? George said he's always tired of being wrong. Everyone hated him, so he couldn't satisfy anyone. So
Jar Jar Binks wasn't even close, though.
Everyone said he might have become a Sith.
Yeah. What?
Who let him put Jar Jar Binks in the movie? Seriously, who looked at Jar Jar Binks and was like, "Wow, that's hilarious."
At a production meeting, they're like, "Yeah, let's do that."
Jar Jar rocks, man. The fans, everyone's gonna love him.
Well, I think when you're sitting in front of George Lucas,
you say yes to anything.
It's like I'm either going to defy the man who made $1 billion franchise, or I'm going to go, well, maybe he sees something I don't, and I'm just going to back down.
Yeah, what he said.
I mean, honestly, it's just who's going to stand up against the guy who created this? It's like
Steven Spielberg,
who
showed up in Revenge of the Sith and made the best sword fight of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, good play, touche.
Peyton, I love it. Just for the sake of people downloading, we're at 2.5 hours already.
This is 2.5 hours?
2 hours and 20 minutes.
We're so chatty.
How about we catch up? You want to catch him up mid-contest prep?
Mid-contest prep.
Photo shoot prep.
Oh,
yeah. When are we going to tell our good fans here? So, again, we've got Welcome to Boz, Sean Hampton forever, and Iron Mike Foster, or at the end, this is your deal, Welcome to Boz last. There you go, first and last. But when are we doing this again? Should we tell the good people?
I really think we should name this thing. I'm really hard up on it.
Well, now that the fans know us,
let's take some
name us.
Yeah, hey, okay, for those, I only got 53 right now. It went from 80. What do you guys think of Reverse Oreo for the name of this podcast? Because my overall podcasts are a day in the life of. Yeah,
I'm not going to lie to you, it sounds sexual.
My overall podcasts are Day in the Life of, which is a non-committal podcast, so it can include anything from plumbers to actors to hippies to cavemen. And amongst those, I have sub-podcasts, like with Alicia Baruti, I have Hippie and the Caveman. Now, with these two gentlemen, what should this podcast be? Jeff, with these two guys. I kind of like Reverse Oreo, because 2 whites and 1 dark.
2 whites. Our friend Doug over here, he's a black.
He's gonna die first.
Was it The Hangover? Remember?
Yeah.
If this is a horror movie, guess who's dying first?
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm just going to scoot on over here.
Investigate that noise. I'll be right back.
Go look at that scary.
It's like 2 things wrong right there.
How's it go?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
that's the end of Children of the Grave by Black Sabbath.
Really?
Anybody out there
No,
that's not aware?
No Black Sabbath.
No Black Sabbath?
No, I
It's
mean, I
called
would say Black
African
Sabbath.
American Sabbath.
Welcome to the politically correct version of reverse Oreo over here.
We got chocolate and cream. Help us figure it out. So,
Chocolate and cream.
Gwen says reverse Oreo only if you're shirtless because it would be more obvious. Gwen, stop.
You stop it, Gwen. We're not in shape right now, but come back and see us in 14 days.
Reverse Oreo. People are liking reverse Oreo, dude. I'm sorry.
Reverse Oreo is working, apparently.
Well, the last time you and I were ebony and iron. We were iron, ebony, and ivory.
Well, that works for the two of you.
Well, I get that, but you just like your fit hippie and the man, or Chico and the man, whatever. What's it called? Hippie and the
Wait. Hippie and the man.
what was it called? The hippie and the muscle, hippie and the caveman, hippie and the cave. I don't know.
Chico with a caveman.
I think you just
I just picked up a random guy at Home Depot and
You know what? And I'm going to get a few witnesses out there. How many hashtags will this guy throw up? I don't know which one you're using.
No, trust me, I'll give him that. That's true.
Just work harder than the other guy. That's all that matters to us.
shut up.
It's true. That's a good
No, it's
hashtag,
true.
though. I'm giving.
No,
right?
but it's funny. Okay. Oh,
Props.
I'm going to plug the hell out of this. Stay tuned for workout clothes, fitness gear, T-shirts, all that crap of Work Harder Than the Other Guy. Welcome to Boz Blair. It's the final drawing for the logo is being completed, and we'll be plugged in, and we'll be selling some crap.
Yep.
So Work Harder Than the Other Guy. There'll be a men's line and a women's line. So stay tuned. People are liking the reverse Oreo, man.
Reverse Oreo seems to be working for us.
Are my people out there? I've got a couple. Oh, we just lost a few. If anybody's out there, do you have any ideas for what we should call our podcast with...
Yeah, we're taking all ideas.
Thank
Exactly.
you, Melody. It's so gross, but reverse Oreo, man.
reverse Oreo? The chocolate's in the middle.
People are liking it,
Right?
It's funny.
Well, if that's the case, hang on a sec.
Okay,
Spots.
people
Let's
asked-
though, they need to see how it looks.
Yeah, I was going to say, we
Let's
have to
see
go
how
in the
it looks
middle
on
Reverse
camera.
Oreo. We got Nordic chocolate Nordic.
That works.
Mike, what product do you use to keep your hair so pretty?
What's that?
What product do you use to keep your hair so pretty?
I use coconut oil, and what I like to do is I rub it on the ends like this because your scalp naturally produces
I
oil.
regret asking already.
Someone told me this. I have no idea. I put coconut oil in so it doesn't go nuts, and it's obvious I didn't have any in tonight. I always want to do this though. Does that make me a bad person? I want to put mine.
I in no way endorse any of these activities.
All right,
Karina likes Three's Company.
Karina.
never
Wait,
heard
which
that.
Karina? The Karina we trust?
The one that's sitting 20 feet away from us. Yeah. Hey, let's talk to this so Karina can. Hey, Karina, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll make a video.
but there's delay, so she's gonna.
So funny. Oh my god.
I'm kind of wondering how long it will take.
I don't know. I'm
for
thinking
when you hear
reverse
this.
Oreo. The reverse Oreo show.
The reverse
it's
Oreo
working.
show.
I mean, it's got to be a podcast title. So reverse Oreo what?
Reverse Oreo.
The reverse Oreo podcast.
No. Reverse. I'm not.
This is
You know
on
what?
you
For as much apple juice as we're drinking, we need more apple juice, and that'll help us make better decisions about what to name the show.
I'm ready to walk to my car down and pack it this evening.
Perhaps.
8 o'clock. It's an hour past my bedtime.
Well, plus they can always leave comments.
What did you say?
No, Three Amigos. We like
Cliche.
the ideas, but it's based on a title that already exists.
Right.
We want to actually come with something completely original. So
And not get sued.
for those of you that have not, God hoping that this actually gets some sort of public
traction.
Traction, yeah. We could get sued for stuff.
We're probably going to get sued.
Sean's our make-believe lawyer.
Yeah. We're probably going to get
So-
sued anyway. Just
Johnny
so you know.
Cochran over here. will take over.
So my friend and I, Alicia and I, for those of you just joining, she's very in touch with positive feelings and crap. So we called ours Hippie the Caveman because I'm very black and white, kicking doors and just punch things.
It's very black and white.
This is very black and white, too.
And to continue the black and white theme, this is going to be a recurring podcast. The long, the short, and the bald.
All right.
Kind of funny.
The long,
The short, and the bald.
Well, who's short?
You.
I get the play on words.
Jeff's only 6'4".
No, his hair.
I get the play on words, but I don't think it's accurate.
Mod Squad Show.
Mod?
Mod.
Like M-O-D?
Mike.
Larry going curly. I'm kind of biased, but I kind of like in the reverse Oreo.
Anytime you see reverse anything, like
It
you said,
sounds like
the
a sex move,
The
I
reverse
know.
cowboy. Be like, you're a cowboy technically, right?
Yeah, I wrote
Yeah.
it.
If I said the reverse cowboy, it was. I mean, why don't we just call it the Dirty
guys.
Sanchez Hour? I mean, you know
Deborah,
what I'm
you're
saying?
down with reverse Oreo too.
These are all sexual sounding names, man. Right?
That's true. I will agree.
I don't know. I'm thinking
Mod
reverse
Squad.
Oreo. might be-
Reverse Oreo seems to be winning.
It does.
I hate to say it.
But how many people are going to be like, would they flip through the podcast, right?
White chocolate.
That's funny.
Are
White
you okay
chocolate
with
is
this?
funny.
Are you offended?
Well, I was offended like 20 minutes ago.
20.
In for a penny, in for a pound. I mean,
It's called the uh-oh. What reverse cowboy?
that's funny.
I don't know. I just... What else is...
We're better than this,
What
guys.
else is
We're
black
artists.
and white?
What is black and white?
We
Why's
can't
it
call
got to be a white thing?
It can't be the zebra hour. It can't be the panda hour. It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be the Mariah Carey
The
hour.
backwards Oreo? I mean, if Mike wants... No, Brandy, you did not come into the conversation.
Creamy white chocolate. That's really going the sexual route.
Yeah. See, all of this is sexual.
The backwards Oreo? It's going to be Oreo.
Was the good, the black, and the white?
Oh, but that implies everything else outside of white is good, is bad. So that could be highly racist.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah, it's coming from a Nicaraguan, so hey.
Oh, Nicaragua.
She's trying to go with the good, the bad, and the ugly, Clint Eastwood style. I get what
Okay.
she's doing here.
I see what she's doing.
Good job, Karina. Where did...
Whitey.
Whitey. Oh, kill Whitey. Is that what's to say? Whitey? Oh, Whitey. The good, the black, and the Whitey?
The beard, the mustache, and the clean. Well, beard implies like a gay husband as a woman.
I thought that was a bear.
No, it's a beard.
Oh, the beard.
Yeah, nice try though.
Yeah.
If you were gay and were with a woman,
Right.
she'd be
She's
the
your
beard.
She'd be Karina.
Right. Well, that's your beard.
Yeah, I was just
Karina is
I
my
was trying
beard.
to leave out
all
the
my gay
innocence.
friends say Karina's my beard.
But
Wait, that would imply that I'm gay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it doesn't
I was
apply
trying
you're
to-
gay. It directly says you are.
There's no implication,
there's no
asshole.
implication.
Can I say one thing though? Usually at the bar, it was the best to say that I was gay because it got you A, more street cred, and B, more girls would be like, oh, I can go talk to him.
He's
this
safe.
is back in my he's safe.
safe.
Yeah. So saying that I'm gay, like when I went back home, hey Karina, you can vouch for this one. I got to tell one quick little gay story. So I go back home and I haven't seen a lot of the people that I graduated high school with in a long time. And we go to a bar and this guy comes up, he's like, hey Mikey, I just want you to know, hang on, let me get into character.
If not,
Hey, Mikey, I just want to let you know, you and me's cool no matter what, man. And I'm like, of course we are, Steve. Is that the
Yeah,
go-to
that's
word?
the go-to
Of course we are, Steve. We've been playing baseball together since 1986. And he's like, yeah, but, I just want you to know that, your lifestyle out there, the things you're doing, it's all cool, man. We'll always be friends. And I'm like, awesome. Steve, what the hell are we talking about? Well, the fact that you're gay now. And I'm like... this is at the time my girlfriend right here, and she's like, he's not gay. He's like, well, come here, and he pulls her over aside. He's like, come on, I heard he's out there bartending at a gay bar. Is he doing gay porn too? They genuinely thought I was gay.
it was associated.
Yeah, just because I was associated with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, sure.
yeah.
We also have Thor, Mace, and Caveman walking to a bar show. You're Mace Windu, I presume.
I'll take Mace, sure.
Where's your purple lightsaber?
Better than Falcon.
Well, just because.
Nothing wrong with Falcon, but it's Mace Windu. Come on.
So
Yeah.
you'd rather be Mace Windu than Falcon?
Any day of the week.
Yeah, that's true.
You can stop Falcon in the air.
Yeah.
What's he going to do?
Well, we got 2 minutes and 58 seconds till mine ends. Yours is probably ending too.
Yeah, same thing.
All right. Well,
Well, tell you what, leave more names in the comments, and by the next time we have
Yeah.
a broadcast, we will have picked a name.
So we got Reverse Oreo is a front runner. Anybody else that has other ideas? Non play on words of things that already exist.
yes.
We don't want
Non-cliche.
Yeah, Three Amigos is funny, but we want stuff that's a complete Arkham Hour. Ooh, that just sounds badass.
And plus, we have the podcast audience who's only hearing this; they're not seeing
Yeah,
it.
so
They're not
yeah, for
live.
those of you watching
So-
this is actually going to be a podcast on iTunes. So we need something that actually catches their eye that way, not something that or catches their ear, I should say. So, comic comedians. What are your favorite? We don't have time, Mandy. I'm sorry.
See, the podcast is colorblind, Sean.
podcast is
So by saying Reverse Oreo, it paints a picture.
It does. Let's not paint the picture. So if you've been
You could
listening,
be the chocolate. We could be the cream.
right?
once again we're getting sexual.
Everybody, I think the Reverse Oreo shows might be the winner.
The reverse Oreo show.
I think that is the winner so far.
God, I forgot my own podcast website. I feel like
Is it Welcome to Boz?
Odds are.
Okay.
Let me check. I got a minute,
So
half
for
a
those of you
second.
that are watching, because we are going to be signing out here soon, thanks for being here on Iron Mike Foster. Remember, Sean Hampton forever, and welcome to Boz over there. These are my people. They're legit. I vouch for them. I've seen their podcast before. I wanted to work with them. I'm working with them. So,
All right, so this podcast can be downloaded. So go to your iTunes app, download this podcast. It is called. Just a minute.
comes the big reveal.
It's been a while. My last one was with Alicia Brody. A Day in the Life of. So if you go to iTunes and look for Day in the Life of or Jeff Bosley, pick the Jeff Bosley that is not the religious show, and that's where all these will be.
Well, how many
There's
shows
only
do you
one.
do, man?
No, there's
Right.
only one Jeff Bosley, other Jeff Bosley, and it's like a crazy religious show.
Define crazy religious.
Well, not crazy, but very
Very
intense.
religious show.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the ones with me are always,
So with you drinking apple juice and dropping F-bombs is
Yeah.
not exactly the religious show?
No, yeah,
This
not
is correct.
yeah. It's
So-
on a Sunday, but just not the religious one.
Exactly. So on iTunes, just Google Jeff Bosley, and there's tons of Hippie and the Caveman, which are actually I slightly biased, but are pretty funny. And then you'll see whatever this one will be called will be all on there too.
Can you share this with us? Is that how does this work? I don't know anything about podcast.
Yeah, we can share the link.
Yeah.
Podcast? Okay.
That would be the best because most people have iTunes.
Okay.
Whereas I'm looking at the Podbean podcast, and it's a pain in the butt.
All right. About 10
Happy hour
seconds.
with happy hour with the reverse Oreos.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, this is like happy 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Boys with toys, muscles on muscles.
I like that.
Yeah, but again,
Coffee talk with
Yeah,
the reverse
so there's that.
Oreos.
throw it out there. No,
These are
And mine is ending in 2 seconds.
Mine's
See you next
not
time.
here. Shit. But we're still on.
hey, we're still live over here at Iron Mike Foster because we never go away.
Yeah. So let me see what this one's called. Like I'm on Podbean is where I'll upload it. So for those of you still listening, yeah.
For those of you listening out there, we have 14
I
whole
need to
viewers
change
out
it
there.
to web.
Do you guys have any questions for us? 15 now.
Holy shit.
If anyone has any questions that we haven't answered.
So yeah.
Anyone?
No need to go back live. So we're on the podcast now and audio only. So what I did on the last podcast in the past, I'm going to hit save real quick as we round up 2.5 fucking hours.
As opposed to 2.5 regular hours.
Dude, imagine if we did this on a regular basis. People would be like, hey, we can listen to some guys talk about absolutely nothing for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
I'm on board.
So we will wrap this up on God dang, there's still apple juice. Basically, what Alicia and I did, and it kind of was a cool way, was kind of a last minute. If anybody sustained the podcast this long, this would be a good plug for anything and everything. So I'll set the pace or the tone, and you guys can go from there. And that's Peyton who chimed in earlier. Basically, so I will start the process. So Jeff Bosley, pretty much if you Google anything, Welcome to Boz, those are all my websites, or Welcome to Boz, Twitter, Instagram, Vine, you name it, Facebook, or Jeff Bosley. Fortunately, I've saturated the internet with Welcome to Boz or Jeff Bosley, IMDb, etc. I got a TV. I'm on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I have a movie coming out with Uma Thurman. I have a movie coming out with Steven Seagal. So hopefully the next and a daytime drama, I believe, is what they're called, starting next year too. So hopefully you will see me with a lot of time on red carpets and how women in my arm, like, what is that? Like on my arm? Is that what it's called? On my
Don't talk
arm?
about punching babies either, remember?
Yeah.
Punching babies.
I would punch babies to work with
The
him.
running joke is I was interviewed on the red carpet. Long story short, prior to Expendables 3 being made, they asked me what I would do to be in Expendables 3. Google Jeff Bosley red carpet and you'll find this. I said to the interviewer I would punch babies to be in Expendables 3. And you can just see the shock on his face. Even though you don't see his face, you can see the shock on the little child that was on the red carpet next to me when I said
Jeff
I would.
says, but not little kids.
Yeah, but here's my argument: is anybody that has any medical knowledge is when you punch children that have their skulls, there's the sutures for medical people aren't joined in their head. So if you're going to punch anybody in the skull, punch a child because their heads are squishy, and it'll grow back and all will be good. No harm, no foul. That's the theory. That's not what I really believe. So, but thanks for bringing that up, you butthole.
Yeah, science.
It's science. Go to an AP class, and this is fact. Punch children, not adults. That's if anything comes from this unnamed Reverse Oreo podcast, that is the message. Punch children, not adults.
All right, that did it. You're done. Stop right now. All right, and I've listened to you dig this hole for far too long.
This is what happens. So yeah,
apple juice.
that's me in a nutshell. Sean, plug yourself.
Once again, we're going sexual with the podcast. No, but anyone listening who wants to learn more about me, you can basically the same thing. You can Google Sean Hampton. That's SEAN Hampton. The Facebook page is Sean Hampton Forever. I'm also on Instagram as Sean Hampton Official. So those are the best ways to stay up with me.
And I am Michael Foster at Iron Mike Foster. I think Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of stuff as well. Instagram. You guys can jump on there, and you can see me coming up in the Thundermans. The other one will be A Gamer's Guide to Pretty Much Everything. Now We Know on National Geographic and MTV's Awkward. And if you want to go ahead and go to Amazon, check out Race War, where I fight Sean.
Oh, yeah.
Over and
That's
over
huge.
again. Yeah, so come check that out. And we just want to thank at Welcome to Boz for having us on tonight.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
if you like
so-
us, we'll be back.
So yeah, this has been a day in the life of a non-committal podcast. So it pretty much entails everything with to be determined. Reverse Oreo. The Reverse Oreo show is maybe where it's going to go. Stay tuned. You can find me on Podbean, but basically the easiest way is to go to iTunes and search for Jeff Bosley. You'll see a handful of Hippie and the Caveman and whatever I decide to name this one when I upload it.
Tell my people this too.
They can hear it right now.
No, but they're not. You're not part of their podcast, are
Well, they should be part of the podcast. So to repeat myself, go to iTunes, Google, or look up Jeff Bosley. All this will be uploaded there. You can see a bunch of old podcasts with Hippie and the Caveman, whatever this one will be named. It might be called the Reverse Oreo Show. And you can see that there. So iTunes, Jeff Bosley. If you have any show suggestions, that's the apple juice talking. Just Jeff at jeffbosley.com, and we kind of have a template of Hollywood, maybe fitness, a little bit of nerdery. But if you have any suggestions, we'll cater to that because we want the show to be very fluid. With the advent of Facebook live video, we can interact with fans as we go along, which you saw tonight. So this is very fluid. And join us, Jeff at jeffbosley.com, and shoot me some messages, and iTunes Jeff Bosley, and that's about it.
And the Sean. Real quick, tell my people, you got like 35 seconds because I'm going to end it with you. Tell them who you are.
Sean Hampton. Go to Sean Hampton Forever on Facebook or Instagram, Sean Hampton Official. And show them the view because you got 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So this is how we end. Iron Mike's channel.
Oh, I see. Oh, because it's Mike's video. So anyway, for those of you who just listening to the podcast, thank you so much for listening. It's been 2.5 hours of hopefully what you deem some level of awesomeness. Again, Sean Hampton, Iron Mike Foster, Mike Foster. You can find us all on Facebook or on social media. Just Google any of us, and we've pretty much saturated the internet with our names. iTunes, Jeff Bosley, and you can find us there. I'll put links, etc. We are very, very, very in touch with everybody that chimes in. So thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we can do this again soon. Again, without your support, it means nothing. So your support and your time means a lot to us. Thank you, and take care. Good night. Have a good recovery from your Thanksgiving activities. Take care.
You're just here like